Make a big impact through Give to Lincoln. Give to Cedars now at givetolincoln.com.
Hey there, this is Paul Scheel, owner of High Electric. I want to thank our friends and loyal customers and introduce High Electric to those looking for a new electrician. We've been serving the Lincoln and Omaha area for over 30 years, from design to install, upgrades, and repair. If you are a homeowner or a small business needing some electrical work, call us at 402-466-6606 or check us out at hyelectric.com. We look forward to hearing from you.
Does someone in your household avoid phone calls because they can't hear clearly, or do they have difficulty speaking on the phone? Nebraska offers a solution. The Nebraska Specialized Telecommunications Equipment Program, or NSTEP, provides financial assistance for specialized devices like amplified phones, captioned telephones, smartphones with Bluetooth pairing to hearing aids, and speech-generating devices. If you're a Nebraska resident with a certified hearing or speech disability, you may qualify. It's not income-based, and once approved, you own the equipment. Learn more or apply at psc.nebraska.gov or call 1-800-526-0017.
Sandhills Global is growing right here in Lincoln. With our expanding campus and continued growth, we're hiring across a wide range of careers, from interns to experienced professionals. Join the team at Sandhills Global and build your career with competitive pay, great benefits, and real opportunities to grow. Visit sandhills.jobs to view openings and apply today. That's sandhills.jobs.
3, 2, 1. The drop is live. Screens freeze everywhere, except yours. You've been training for this moment. And with Allo Fiber's zero-lag precision, you strike first. No lag, no limits, just speed. Can your internet provider do that? Stay ahead of every drop. Visit allofiber.com/all-in.
In communities like ours, local relationships still matter. At Insight Partners, we believe we are better together. That's why insurance agencies across the Midwest have joined Insight Partners to better serve local customers and communities with all their insurance needs. From personal to commercial or specialty insurance, your local Insight Partners team is here to help protect what matters most. Insight Partners, better together. Learn more at myinspartners.com.
If you're seeking a career with a growing company, Gaina Trucking and Excavating is hiring and looking for additions to their team. Gaina Trucking has a strong team culture, competitive pay, 401ks, and benefits like health, dental, and vision. Drivers are guaranteed 40 hours per week, even in the winter months, and are home every night. Start your career today at Gaina Trucking and Excavating. Apply today at gainatrucking.com.
Sean's Mobile DOT inspection reminds listeners that our troops return home. Many are left unemployed and deserted. Over 1 million veterans across the United States are currently looking for jobs, despite having special skills and elite military training. Let us welcome troops with open arms and make 2026 a year to hire smart, hire vets. Sean's Mobile DOT inspection. For all your inspection, mobile truck repair, mobile truck services, and trailer repair, call the pros. 402-880-2425. Sean's Mobile DOT inspection. On the air because they care.
You started your business to build something special. Now it's time to grow and protect it. At Pinnacle Bank, our treasury management services help you do just that. Through smarter payment technology, account administration, and fraud protection. So no matter the size of your business, you can get the most out of your financial operations. Request your free consultation at pinbank.com/consult. Pinnacle Bank, the way banking should be. Member FDIC.
Welcome into a presentation of high school state baseball on 93.7 The Ticket. Coverage of state baseball is presented by Union Bank and Trust, Sunbelt Rentals, the Nebraska Corn Board, Jimmy John's, the Nebraska Army National Guard, Hamilton Communications, and Play It Again Sports. From Werner Park, this is state baseball on 93.7 The Ticket. Now, calling all the action. Here are Nick Sainert and Austin Orman.
Welcome back into Warner Park as we are getting ready to try to cruise through 4 games today as we're racing the weather at Warner Park. And this matchup between Grand Island and Lincoln Southwest. Thanks to Jake Bachhoven, Derek Pearson, and our special guest Lori Wellman in between there for holding down the fort as we got ready to go. As the first pitch is underway already for Lincoln Southwest and Grand Island. They were a little, 7 minutes behind or so from where they wanted to start, but we are right into it here as the first pitch from Lincoln Southwest is in there for a strike, 0-1 to Grand Island as Lincoln Southwest and the Islanders of Grand Island. We'll set this up as we go along, and we'll be able to – everybody's kind of flying by the seat of their pants here today as we are trying to figure out what the schedule is going to look like today, this afternoon, this evening as we beat the thunderstorms that are coming to Lincoln and Omaha area today. Starting on the mound today for Lincoln Southwest is Caden Millard. Millard on the year, 2-3 record, a 4.61 earned run average as he's facing a talented Grand Island Islanders squad that fell to Lincoln East in the first round. And on the first batter of the game to Ian Ahrens, it is a 2-2 count to Ahrens. Ahrens, the starting center fielder today. As I mentioned, Millard, 2-3 record in 9 appearances. This is his 10th start of the season. 2-3 record on the year with that 4.61 earned run average. The 2-2 swung on and missed, and Millard gets the Grand Island leadoff hitter down on swinging strikes for out number 1. Lincoln Southwest fell to Papillion La Vista South in their first round game on Friday. And so that is why we're in an elimination game for the time being right now. The loser of this one, their season comes to an end. The winner gets the loser of our nightcap between Papillion La Vista South and Lincoln East. 1 ball, no strike to the number 2 hole hitter for Grand Island, Sam Schroeder. Schroeder watches the 1-0 offering go inside for a ball, 2-0. Once again, Nick Sandert with you. Austin Norman will join me during this broadcast as well as he's making his way up to Papillion as we speak. The 2-0 offering from Millard is in there for a strike, 2-1. Schroeder for Grand Island doing the catching today. He hits out of the 2 hole, hits from the right side against the right-handed arm of Caden Millard. Millard kicks and fires on 2-1, and it's in there for a strike, 2-2. Millard establishing the fastball here early on. Hasn't thrown anything other than some heat. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 1 out here in the top of the first inning. Millard comes set out of the stretch with nobody on base. The 2-2 is going to be fouled off to the left side into the Lincoln Southwest dugout on down the third base side, and we'll do it again at 2-2. Lincoln Southwest led by head coach Mitch Vernon. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 1 out here in the top of the first for Lincoln Southwest defensively. The pitch on 2-2 from Millard. Breaking ball is going to be hit fairly routine out to the second baseman, fielded on the ground and fired over to first in time for out number 2, 4-3 on the ground out. So if you're just now joining us, you didn't hear earlier today, the first game of the day between Omaha Westside and Creighton Prep, scheduled to start at 10 a.m. Last night, about 5 o'clock or so, they made the decision, the NSAA did, to move everything up an hour. And so we are also on a rolling clock as the first pitch of the at-bat to Grayson Sack, who's hitting third, also doing the pitching for Grand Island, is inside for a ball, 1-0. 1 ball, no strikes. 2 outs here in the top of the first. The 1-0 is going to be hammered through the right side for a base hit, 2-out single for Grayson Sack as he was able to get it in between the first baseman and the second baseman into right field on a fastball that was on the inner part of the plate, kind of hit off his hands, but was still able to muscle it through to the right side for a 2-out single here in the top of the first. And now that brings up Gabe Ruiz, the starting first baseman. Big, intimidating body. Ruiz hits from the right side. On the year, Ruiz hitting .341 as he watches ball 1 low and outside of the zone, 1-0. Grayson Sack, the Grand Island pitcher, occupies first base with 2 outs here in the top of the first inning. Caden Millard, the pitcher for Lincoln Southwest, fires. This one's hit well into left center field. The left fielder races back, and makes the one-handed catch in deep left center field, just shy of the warning track for out number 3. So no harm, no foul after the 2-out single was allowed by Caden Millard. He comes back and gets the Grand Island cleanup hitter to fly out to the left fielder to end the top of the first inning. We go to the bottom of the first. We see Lincoln Southwest due up for the first time here this morning. Brennan Vernon, Luke Mitchell, and Ty Phillips all set to bat in the home half of the first inning as they face Grand Island pitcher Grayson Sack. We'll tell you more about it when we come back here on 93.7 The Ticket. Are you looking for something different for lunch or dinner in Lincoln? Big 8 is now open at 1226 P Street, serving seafood boils and Asian cuisine. Get your hands messy with fresh, flavorful seafood boils, hot, cold, and made to share. Or enjoy classic Chinese and Asian dishes, perfect for lunch, dinner, or a night out with friends and family. Big flavors, generous portions, and a brand new dining experience. Big 8, now open in Lincoln.
At Raising Cane's, we focus on making the most craveable chicken finger meals, getting them right every time. That's why we hand batter every chicken finger, mix every cane sauce, butter every Texas toast, stir every slaw, salt every fry, squeeze every lemon, and brew every ounce. We do this inside every Raising Cane's, every day, because when you do it right, you can taste it in every bite. Raising Cane's chicken fingers, one love.
Back to more of the Class A State Baseball Tournament on 93.7 The Ticket.
Nick Sander back with you from Warner Park as we go to the bottom of the first inning. Our first look at the Lincoln Southwest Silverhawks and their batting lineup. Brennan Vernon, the starting shortstop, will be up to bat first. Hits out of the leadoff spot. On the year, Vernon is hitting .321, 25 hits and 78 at-bats. It was an interesting game on Friday when you look at the way that, frankly, Lincoln East and Grand Island played. It resulted in a 7-3 Lincoln East victory. However, Lincoln East was able to score 5 runs in the bottom of the 6th inning off of Nelson for Grand Island. Nelson just 2/3 of an inning, 3 hits allowed, 5 earned runs, 3 walks. But Grand Island got a really good start out of Cushing on the mound as Vernon slaps this one to the right side on the first pitch of his at-bat, and it's going to be caught on the fly by the right fielder for out number 1. 1 pitch, 1 out for GI. Cushing for the Islanders went 4 2/3 innings, allowed just 1 run, only walked 1, and struck out 6 Spartans hitters. And so it was a pretty good day on the mound for Grand Island. Kept them in it. At one point, Grand Island was up in that game 3-1. But unfortunately for the Islanders, they find themselves in an elimination matchup because of the inability to throw strikes there in the bottom of the 6th inning. Back here, due up, it's Luke Mitchell, the starting center fielder. He has an 0-1 count as he skies this one to the right side. It's going to be in foul territory. Ruiz, watch out for the wall as he almost barrels into the net. He was unable to haul in the fly ball in foul territory. So Luke Mitchell, who doubles as a Lincoln Southwest running back, a really, really talented football player, Luke Mitchell, he is down in the count 0-2. So no balls, 2 strikes, 1 out here in the bottom of the first inning. Nick Sainert with you. Austin Norman will join me momentarily for the middle innings. Grand Island, the 7 seed. Lincoln Southwest, the 3 seed in this elimination matchup here at Warner. The 0-2 offering is upstairs, 1-2. The arm on the mound for Grand Island today, Grayson Sack. Sack, when he's not pitching, is the man handling the duties at shortstop for the Islanders, as this one comes in and hits Luke Mitchell on the elbow guard. So it is with 2 strikes, a hit by pitch, and a free pass given up by Grayson Sack. And that'll now bring left-handed hitter Ty Phillips to the plate. Phillips, on Friday in the loss against Papillion La Vista South, was 0-for-1. Did have an RBI, but was 0-for-1 on the day. Only 1 registered at bat. After a couple sacrifices, Phillips hammers this one on a line to right field. Right fielder is there and plenty of time to catch it and hauls it in for out number 2. Really good piece of barrel on the ball there by Ty Phillips, just right at the right fielder, who had to move about 4 spots over to his right, and he catches it on the line for out number 2. That brings up the second baseman, the cleanup hitter for the Southwest Silverhawks, Alex Dawes. Dawes hits from the right side. He was 0-for-3 with a strikeout in Friday's loss to Papio South, a game to where Lincoln Southwest allowed the Titans of Papio South to score 1 in the first, 3 runs in the second, and 2 in the 6th. They struggled to get some outs out of their starter, Dush, who had 7 strikeouts on the day. The first pitch of the at-bat to Dawes is going to be lined out to left field and hauled in on the fly. And so relatively routine first inning for both sides as we are scoreless going into the top of the second inning between Lincoln Southwest and Grand Island here on 93.7 The Ticket.
At Jimmy John's, we don't make sandwiches. We make the sandwich of sandwiches. We use fresh veggies because we don't hate salads. We just feel bad for them. We make our sandwiches exactly how you want because you're the one who's eating it. And we bake bread all day, every day because stale bread isn't bread. It's croutons. Sandwich history is written by the victors. Good thing we have legible handwriting. Jimmy John's, the sandwich of sandwiches. Order pickup or delivery on the app.
Spring sports are here and it's time to upgrade your equipment. But don't go rushing to your big box store. Play It Again Sports is your place to go for all spring sports equipment for baseball, softball, golf, and disc golf. Play It Again Sports has quality, slightly to gently used equipment, and 50% of their inventory is actually new equipment. And don't forget, buying from them is a great way to get new products with great discounts by also bringing in your used items for store credit or cash on the spot. Play It Again Sports at 48th and Vine.
Back to more of the Class A State Baseball Tournament on 93.7 The Ticket.
Welcome back in to Warner Park as the first pitch of the second inning is going to be slapped through the middle by the leadoff hitter for the inning, Ethan Mader, the starting right fielder. And I tell you, we're moving at a pretty good pace here in this matchup. As we're on a rolling clock, obviously, as Ethan Mader was able to take that first pitch fastball off of Caden Millard and go right up the middle for a base hit. So he will now be at first base with nobody out. Righty-righty matchup here to the 6-hole hitter, Gavin Ruther, the starting third baseman for the Islanders, as he has to bow out of the way of that first pitch fastball inside 1-0. 2 hits on the day so far for the Islanders of Grand Island as they were able to get their leadoff runner on here in the top of the second. The 1-0 pitch is going to be a sky-high pop-up into shallow center field. Mitchell comes on and makes the catch. Can of corn for the Silverhawks center fielder, F8 on the putout for out number 1. That'll bring Brock Cushing to the dish as he's the starting shortstop. Brock wears number 9 for Grand Island. Surprised not to see Gavin Ruther maybe drop down a bunt there as the 6-hole hitter in the lineup. Runner at first base, 1 out. Millard, quick pick over to first, back in plenty of time was Mader. Brock Cushing on the year hits .226, just 12 hits on the season. 1 out in the top of the second, still scoreless between Lincoln Southwest and Grand Island as the first pitch of the at-bat to Cushing is low and inside, ball 1-0. It's a pleasant day here at Warner Park. Sun's not shining, the lights are already turned on here at the ballpark, but the wind's not blowing by any means. Obviously no rain just yet. So it's been a pretty pleasant day. We feel pretty good about getting 3 of these games in. The 4th one is going to be up in the air later tonight as this pitch by Millard is going to be slapped off to the right side. It'll find the seats to even it up at 1 apiece. 1 ball, 1 strike, 1 out here in the top half of the second inning. Righty-righty matchup as Millard comes set at the belt and slide steps. And Cushing has to bounce out of the way of that one so it doesn't hit him. 2 balls, 1 strike on the fastball that missed inside. That's an underrated part of this state tournament. We've talked about establishing the zone early on. A lot of guys think outside. Millard unable to get that inside corner nailed down quite yet as he just delivered a 2-1 fastball inside 3-1. Underrated part of the zone to go after, though, for high school pitchers, that inner part of the plate. 3 balls, 1 strike, 1 out. Runner at first. Here's the pitch. It's a breaker that works back into the front door, hits that inside corner to the righty, and it's going to be full at 3-2. So 3 balls, 2 strikes, 1 out here in the top half of the second inning. Still scoreless after each team had 1 crack at it in the first inning. Here's the 3-2, swung on and fouled back to the backstop. And Cushing feels like he might be right on that one there on that fastball attempt by Millard. So the runner at first is Ethan Mater, the Grand Island right fielder. He is standing at the first base bag after he was able to take a first pitch fastball up the middle for a leadoff single of this inning. The 3-2 pitch swung on, fouled back my way, and we will do it again at 3-2. Millard working at a pretty good pace right now. 3 balls, 2 strikes, 1 out here in the top of the second. The payoff pitch is inside, ball 4 to Brock Cushing. And so 3 times in that at-bat did Caden Millard just miss slightly inside. The home plate umpire not giving him much movement. But now for Grand Island, runners at first and second with less than 2 outs. That'll bring up Miles Nelson, the starting left fielder. Nelson on the year, 266 hitter, 17 hits and 64 tries. Less than 2 outs, 1 runners on first and second as the first pitch of the at-bat is up and away for a ball, 1-0 to Miles Nelson. Millard's misses aren't by much. They are maybe 1 or 2 baseballs off the plate, which sometimes umpires will give you that as the later innings arrive. But so far early on, it's been a pretty tight zone for the home plate umpires. The 1-0 offering is up and inside, but whiffed at and missed. It's a 1 ball, 1 strike count with 1 out here in the top of the second to Miles Nelson as Millard comes set, looking at the runner at second base, fires home. It's a breaking ball that cuts off the plate and misses outside for a ball, 2-1. 2 balls, 1 strike, 1 out here at Warner Park as this is not the game you want to show to your student sections. No students came for either side. This one slaps softly to the left side. It's fielded by the shortstop and thrown over to third where the only play was in time for the out. A nice heads-up play by Vernon at short as he was working to his right. He had to charge in on that one, and he had to just his only option. He was not going to get the runner at second, not going to get the runner at third, and since he was working to his right, he was able to just underhand it to Kason Seymour, the Silverhawks third baseman, for the force out. What didn't help either is that Mater didn't slide at third. And so it was a force out at third for out number 2. And with 2 outs, Grand Island has runners at first and second as number 1, the 9-hole hitter, Carson Washburn, steps in to the plate and takes ball 1. So Miles Nelson reaches on the fielder's choice. Quick pick back to second is going to be off the helmet of, Brock Cushing. And it'll bounce into shallow left field where it's tracked down by Vernon, the shortstop. Carson Washburn hitting out of the 9-hole today. Hits .250 on the season. Listed as a utility guy. He's getting the start at second base today. Millard comes set at the belt. Looks back at the runner at second, 2, now 3 times, delivers and drills Carson Washburn. And Millard was so concerned about keeping tabs and keeping eyes on the base runner at second base that he actually started his delivery while still looking at second base. And it ends up hitting the 9-hole hitter Washburn to load the bases with 2 outs here in the second inning. So 2 outs here in the top of the second. Bases are juiced for the Islanders. Ian Ahrens, who struck out swinging to start the game, is up in that left-handed batter's box, facing the righty Millard. The first pitch swung on and missed, 0-1. It was a fastball on the outer part of the zone. That's the pitch that Ahrens struck out on in 6 pitches. His first at-bat was that fastball on the outer part of the zone. Here's the 0-1. Inside, and it's hammered in between the first baseman and second baseman into right field. 1 run will score. The throw home will not be in time. Grand Island strikes first as they put a 2 spot on the board in the top of the second inning. A great piece of hitting by Ian Ahrens as he hammered that inside fastball in between the first and second baseman. Into right field it goes. And both Cushing and Nelson were able to come around third and score. Carson Washburn goes first to third on the throw, and now Grand Island still has runners at the corners with 2 outs. Here's the pitch as this one, first one, runner will go from first on to second. Ian Aaron swipes second without a throw. And so now Grand Island another base hit away from potentially adding 2 more. The 1-0 offering to Sam Schroeder, the 2-hole hitter for Grand Island. The pitch, this one swung on and hit a mile high into shallow center field. Mitchell comes a few steps in, holds his glove up, and catches it for out number 3. So the damage was done, though, in the top of the second inning. Grand Island scores 2. They also leave 2 on the base paths. The Islanders lead the Silverhawks 2-0 as we enter the bottom of the second inning. Due up for Lincoln Southwest in the bottom half. Kason Seymour, Andrew Jackson, and Jackson Pieper all due up here in the home half of inning number 2. Nick Sainer stepping aside. We'll be right back on 93.7 The Ticket.
Constructors is now hiring for all positions with pay starting at 23 and up based on experience. Constructors has immediate job openings for mechanics, bridge builders, operators, and drivers. Start your new career today. Constructors offer great pay, health, dental, and vision, paid time off, paid holidays, and so much more. Join the crew today and be a part of Nebraska's oldest paving company dating back to 1908. For a complete list of openings and to apply online, visit constructorslincoln.com.
In communities like ours, local relationships still matter. At Insight Partners, we believe we are better together. That's why insurance agencies across the Midwest have joined Insight Partners to better serve local customers and communities with all their insurance needs. From personal to commercial or specialty insurance, your local Insight Partners team is here to help protect what matters most. Insight Partners, better together. Learn more at myinspartners.com.
Back to more of the Class A State Baseball Tournament on 93.7 The Ticket.
Welcome back into Warner Park. Nick Sainer with you. Austin Norman will join me momentarily as Grand Island leads 2-0 here as we enter the bottom half of the second inning. 2 runs on 3 hits so far today, while the Silverhawks still searching for their first base runner of the day. Base hit of the day. They did have a base runner in the first inning after Luke Mitchell was hit by a pitch. Kason Seymour, the first Silverhawk hitter up in the bottom of the second, and we're going to have a stoppage in play after the catcher took one where the sun don't shine off of a ball in the dirt. And so the catcher for Grand Island, that is Sam Schroeder, is trying to walk that one off. It was a ball in the dirt, so 1-0 is the count. Schroeder looks to be okay. And so with 1 ball, no strikes, Grayson Sack working out of the windup. Here's the pitch on 1-0. Breaking ball floated across Broadway. 1 ball, 1 strike. As Sack is working out of the windup to Kason Seymour, the Silverhawks' third baseman. Fastball swung on and missed. It's 1-2. Big opportunity here for Grand Island. Work a clean one after you are able to crack the scoring column first. You're up 2-0 right now. If you can put up a 0, get those bats back to the plate. 2 balls, 2 strikes after the 2-1 offering is low and inside. 2-2. The 2-2 pitch from Grayson Sack. Breaking ball, skied high, but it's going to be a foul ball behind us. And so we'll do it again at 2-2. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Nobody out here in the bottom of the second inning. Here's the pitch from Grayson Sack, the Grand Island righty. It's low and away for a ball, 3-2. One thing you look for, especially if you're a hitter, as you're trying to time up a pitcher, seeing him for the first time, does he slow down his arm motion when he throws his off speed? Grayson Sack, unfortunately, does. This one roped through the center field gap, or the hole between second and third, and it's going to be a base hit for Kason Seymour as he starts Lincoln Southwest off with a leadoff base knock, and that's the Silverhawks' first hit of the day. So now that brings up Andrew Jackson, the designated hitter. Jackson hits from the right side as Seymour occupies first. Grayson Sack will pitch out of the stretch. Conservative lead over there at first is the first pitch fastball. And how about this? It goes right into the gut once again of Grayson Sack. He got hit in the same exact spot that he got hit in 3 or 4 pitches ago. And Grayson Sack has gone through it here in the early goings, inning and some change. So now the coaches will trot on out from the Grand Island dugout to check on him. They haven't said anything to him. They're just looking at him. And now the athletic trainer will come on out. We'll find out here. Grayson Sack done a pretty good job of establishing that fastball, but that breaking stuff, he slows down his arm quite a bit. We can see it from up here, which I'm sure some of the conversation that's in the Lincoln Southwest dugout is, hey, this is something we're picking up as well. If guys like Brennan Vernon, Luke Mitchell, Ty Phillips, Alex Dawes, all guys that have seen something and seen some pitches from him, if they're saying that, I mean, that's the kind of the conversation piece is, hey, this is something you can pick up on. So once again, we still have a stoppage in play. The athletic trainer for Grand Island is on the field right now talking to Sam Schroeder, the Grand Island catcher. It didn't look like it was foul tipped into the mitt or anything off the bat of Andrew Jackson, but you could tell that Sam Schroeder was just pretty severely shaken up after that one. I think obviously in the first inning, in the first batter of this inning, he got hit where the sun don't shine, but then this time it's almost more of like a finger for him because he's trying to shake it off, and now the athletic trainer runs back out there with some tape. So they're going to try to tape something up as the umpires will convene. Mitch Vernon is talking to his batter, Andrew Jackson, as Kason Seymour will come over and join the conversation. The 3 outfielders and 3 of the 4 infielders are each converging in their own little personal circles, having a conversation while the pitcher, Grayson Sack, talks to the first baseman, Gabe Ruiz, for the Grand Island Islanders. No balls, 1 strike is where the count's at right now. Grand Island was able to get 2 runs in the top half of the second inning just a few moments ago, as they were able to get the leadoff hitter on base with the leadoff single. That was Ethan Mater. However, Mater was not one of them to come around to score. And then ultimately Gavin Ruther then flew out to the center fielder, but a couple of free passes and on the fielder's choice, a couple of Islanders were able to come around to score. And then ultimately Ian Ahrens with a single through the right side was able to drive in 2 RBI to give Grand Island the early 2-0 advantage. I mean, this is a Grand Island team, once again, that was up for a good chunk of the game on Friday against number 2 seed Lincoln East. And here they find themselves up 2-0 in the bottom of the second inning over Lincoln Southwest, the 3 seed here in Class A. Class A wide open. Omaha Westside lost on Friday. They did win this morning, so they're still alive, but they're the number 1 seed. We're ready to play baseball here. No balls, 1 strike. Here's the pitch to Jackson, low and outside, 1-1. Sam Schroeder looking real ginger back behind the dish. Slow to get up into his stance. Just doesn't seem very comfortable right now. Catching with 1 knee on the ground. This one roped up the middle, and that will be down for a hit. A nice piece of hitting by Andrew Jackson as he finds some center field grass, and Lincoln Southwest is cooking here in the bottom of the second. With nobody out, they have back-to-back singles to start the inning, and runners are on first and second as that brings up the starting right fielder, Jackson Pieper. Pieper hits from the left side, and if I'm Mitch Vernon down in that third base dugout, sure, maybe not bunt a guy over because that's not necessarily what you do. However, you got to figure out a way to test Schroeder behind the plate right now. Runners are on first and second. The left-handed batter, Pieper, squares to bunt, gets it down the third base line. What a beautiful bunt. It hits the edge in the cut of the grass in fair territory, bounces left, and it will be foul. And so Pieper was maybe 5 inches from that being a perfectly placed bunt, and Lincoln Southwest was just a few rolls and rotations of a baseball away from having bases loaded and nobody out here in the bottom of the second, but instead it goes as a foul ball. So Jackson Pieper will bring it back to the plate and be faced with an 0-1 count to Grayson Sack, the Grand Island pitcher. Runners on first and second. Seymour's on second. Jackson's on first. Here's the pitch. Squaring to bunt, and the ball is inside 1-1. So 1 ball, 1 strike here in the home half of the second inning. Jackson Pieper, the starting right fielder for the Lincoln Southwest Silverhawks here today. As Sack comes set in the stretch. Say that 5 times fast. As this bunt will be fouled back to the nets, and Jackson Pieper didn't do a great job of keeping the barrel on top of the handle there. As kind of dropped the bat head, if you will, and popped that bunt foul to the net. 1 ball, 2 strikes, nobody out here in the home half of the second inning. Lincoln Southwest trying to respond after Grand Island scratched across 2 runs in the top of the second. Here's the 1-2 offering from Grayson Sack. Here's the pitch. Breaking ball stays outside, 2-2. For Grand Island, they have played Lincoln Southwest 2 times this season, beaten them both of those times. Here's the 2-2 offering from Grayson Sack to Pieper. Breaking ball, hammered up the middle. That's through for another base hit. Seymour is rounding third. He will score easily without a throw, and Southwest is able to answer with at least 1 run of their own, and there's still nobody out here in the bottom of the second inning on the RBI single from Jackson Pieper. It got just over the glove of Grayson Sack on the mound. It had enough juice on it to get past the outstretched arm of the shortstop for Grand Island, as well as it hopped over the second base bag into center field, and Seymour was able to trot around third and score for Lincoln Southwest. Lincoln Southwest now has runners on first and second, still nobody out, and the 8-hole hitter, Joaquin Olivas. Joaquin takes ball 1 outside, 1-0. So a nice RBI single there for Jackson Pieper. And Andrew Jackson, that is, will trot into second and occupy that second base bag. So Lincoln Southwest still looking and has the chance to put up a crooked number here. The 1-0 pitch, is on the outside corner for a strike to Olivas, 1-1. 1 ball, 1 strike. 2-1 your score, Grand Island on top of Lincoln Southwest. Runner at first is not being held on by Ruiz, the first baseman. Jackson not being held on either. As the 1-1 pitch bunted right back to the pitcher. It's going to do its job, though, as the throw over to first is in time. It'll be 1-3 on the sacrifice putout. And a nice job there by Joaquin Olivas to do his job for out number 1 as he moves both runners up 90 feet. And Lincoln Southwest has 2 runners in scoring position with just 1 out, as that will bring up the starting left fielder, Cash Shoemaker, to the plate. Cash hits from the left side, has a slightly open stance, facing Grayson Sack, who's pitching out of the stretch with runners on second and third. The pitch is a high pop fly. It's going to stay in the field of play in foul territory. The third baseman rushes in, makes the catch, and that's out number 2. As that is an unfortunate turn of events for Lincoln Southwest, as Cash Shoemaker unable, as he swung on the first pitch, unable to bring anybody in. And now Lincoln Southwest, with 2 runners still on base and 2 outs in the inning, they'll turn their lineup over and bring in Brennan Vernon, the starting shortstop. Brennan had a line out to the right fielder his first time up, just last inning, but Lincoln Southwest done a good job working through their 9-hitter lineup there as they turn it over in the second inning already to Brennan Vernon. Andrew Jackson will occupy third. Jackson Pieper is standing on second base. Brennan Vernon, the Lincoln Southwest shortstop, is standing in that right-handed batter's box with 2 outs here in the bottom of the second inning. Grand Island scored 2 in the top of the second. Lincoln Southwest scored 1 so far here in the bottom of the second. Coming set, Grayson Sack. Righty-righty matchup. Here's the pitch. Fastball hit well into right field, but the right fielder moves 3 steps over to his right, and he makes the catch for out number 3. So Lincoln Southwest leaves 2 runners stranded at second and third in scoring position. However, they do get one back, and they now trail 2-1. So we go to the top of the third inning with Grand Island set to bring hitters 3, 4, 5 to the plate when we return in 60 seconds on 93.7 The Ticket.
Attention, Nebraska sports fans. Are you ready to take your skills to the next level? The Army National Guard is looking for leaders who are dedicated, driven, and ready to make a difference. Join up and gain invaluable experience while serving your country with a flexible schedule, competitive benefits, and a chance to build a strong future. Learn more at nationalguard.com/Nebraska. Live here, serve here. The Nebraska Army National Guard. Guard the good life.
If you've been looking for a reason to fill up your car with E15, how about this? E15
can help you save big at the pump.
And save the planet by cutting greenhouse gas emissions.
Any car 2001 or newer is approved. Speaking of good, it's made from corn, which is great for farmers.
As I was saying, if you need a reason to choose E15, there you have them. E15, engine smart, earth kind. Visit chooseE15.com to learn more.
This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. Also online at theticketfm.com.
On the internet.
KNTK FM Firth, 93.7 The Ticket. Back to more of the Class A State Baseball Tournament on 93.7 The Ticket.
As always, want to thank our friends at the Nebraska Corn Board for their sponsorship of high school baseball. Choose E15 at the pump and save money. Plus, it's engine smart and earth kind. Visit chooseE15.com to learn more today. Back here at Warner Park, Nick Sainert now joining me in the booth. Austin Orman as Grand Island is up 2-1 on Lincoln Southwest. First pitch strike from Caden Millard. And the second pitch of the at-bat, before I can even take a breath, is thrown and fouled off to the left side 0-2 quickly before we could blink to Grayson Sack, the 3-hole hitter for the Grand Island Islanders. As Caden Millard is on the bump, his 10th appearance of the season, 2-3 record. He came into this one with a 4.61 earned run average. Here's the pitch, swung on and fouled back on 0-2, so we'll do it again. No balls, 2 strikes. Austin, good to have you here. Obviously, you'll be here for the rest of the day and evening and afternoon. We're going to hope we get as many games in as we can.
It's a very wise decision by the NSAA to move these games up and go to the rolling schedule. A little scary in places around Nebraska last night. Looks a little bit better today, but we know rain can certainly play a factor in. As always with weather, Nick, it's about making fewer mistakes more so than making more big plays.
On the 0-2 pitch, it's a slider that's hammered out into center field, but right at the center fielder, Luke Mitchell, for out number 1. That'll bring up the cleanup hitter in the Grand Island Islanders lineup, Gabe Ruiz. Ruiz, the starting first baseman for the Islanders. He flew out to deep left field in his first time up to the plate back in the first inning. It is a right-handed pitcher against a right-handed hitter. The kick and delivery from Millard is a fastball that's up and in, but swung at and missed for a strike. No balls, 1 strike. 1 out here in the top of the third. Millard comes set at the belt, pitches out of the stretch even when there's no runners on base. A breaking ball did not break enough. It stayed inside for a ball, 1-1. The battery for Lincoln Southwest, obviously, you have Millard on the bump. Behind the plate, it's Joaquin Olivas. 1 ball, 1 strike, 1 out. Here's the pitch to Ruiz. A breaking ball, low and away, but swung at and missed, and it's a strike, 1 ball and 2 strikes.
Ruiz buckled a little bit there. You see that back foot not at all planted way out in front of it.
1 ball, 2 strikes, 1 out. Here is Caden Millard. The pitch inside, almost nicked him. And Gabe Ruiz evens it up at 2 balls, 2 strikes apiece. 1 out here in the top half of the third inning. 2-1 Grand Island on top of Lincoln Southwest. The 2-2 offering inside 3-2. And I've said it before, the early stages of this one so far, that's where Caden Millard's misses have been. Trying to establish that inside part of the zone. Hasn't been able to find it consistently. 3 balls, 2 strikes, 1 out. Here's the pitch from Caden Millard to Gabe Ruiz. It's a fastball swung on and hit into foul play, and that should reach the seats as it got up to the 6th row of bleachers just beyond the first base dugout. 3 balls, 2 strikes. We'll do it again. Another payoff pitch coming in just a moment from Caden Millard. The payoff pitch. Breaking ball. They're going to say Ruiz went around. An unfavorable call for Gabe Ruiz. The first base coach is not a fan of that. He's saying at least give him a chance to have an appeal. And now the third base coach for Grand Island, head coach, that is Kirby Wells, is giving the home plate umpire a piece of his mind. And the home plate umpire just gave him the hand and said, I don't want to hear another word. So that is a swinging strikeout for Gabe Ruiz for the second out of the inning, as the first pitch of the at-bat to Ethan Mater, who led off the second inning with a single his last time up. He watches ball 1 outside as it gets to the backstop, 1-0.
That's probably the right job by the home plate umpire in terms of not allowing the appeal, because he made the call. If he was at all caught in between and, made the call a little bit, but he was pretty decisive in it, right? You can't make the call, then appeal down and have that guy overturn him. It's got to be really borderline with the appeal a lot quicker from the catcher.
Yeah, 2-0 the count makes it a 2-1 or after a fastball, 2 balls, 1 strike. I think what Grand Island's frustrated about is that with the 2-1 pitch coming up, it's up and away for a ball, 3-1. I think Grand Island's saying that even if it's questionable, don't call it and allow the appeal to happen for somebody that has maybe a little bit better of a vantage point down that first base line to see if that barrel crossed the plane of the plate. The 3-1 offering is low and outside for a ball 4, and a free pass is issued by Caden Millard to Ethan Mater. And so for the second time today, Mater will be on first base to bring up number 10, the starting third baseman, Gavin Ruther, with 2 outs here in the top of the third inning. 2-1 your score. Grand Island on top of Lincoln Southwest. 2 runs so far on 3 hits for the Islanders. 1 run on 3 hits for the Silverhawks. Here's the pitch. Low and away. It gets past the catcher, Olivas, and getting to second base on the wild pitch will be Mater. And so now Grand Island, just like that, is a base hit away potentially from getting that 1 run that they surrendered to the Silverhawks in the bottom of the second back, as they still lead 2-1 right now. Millard's rhythm and pace has slowed down significantly in these last 2 innings. He's showing a lot more emotion as well. Millard toes that rubber with that right foot as Mater takes 2 steps off of second base. The 1-0 pitch inside, hit off the hands. Vernon's going to have to come charge, throw off the side of his foot. It's scooped at first in time. A nice play by the Southwest Silverhawks first baseman Ty Phillips as he dug it from the Warner Park dirt, and he gets the Silverhawks out of the inning unscathed. We go to the home half of the third. Your score, Grand Island 2, Lincoln Southwest 1. We'll be right back in 60 seconds on 93.7 The Ticket.
Imagine if the people who work at your bank or neighbors who could help with a home loan.
Congratulations, you're approved.
Or friends who love to shop local.
Have a good one.
At UBT, who you work with matters just as much as what you're working toward.
Hey, thanks for helping.
That's why your money has more than a banker. It has people. Union Bank and Trust. Member FDIC.
If you're a homeowner or a business owner, you have a lot of projects, and no one has an unlimited budget or time. Sunbelt Rentals makes all jobs less stressful with no need to purchase large equipment or hire a crew. You can do it yourself with rentals in everything from aerators and power rakes for spring yard work to stump grinders, concrete mixers, tile saws, and more. Check out their inventory in Lincoln, north of Cornhusker Highway on 56th Street, or online at sunbeltrentals.com.
Back to more of the Class A State Baseball Tournament on 93.7 The Ticket.
Nick Sander back with you from Warner Park alongside Austin Orman as we go to the bottom of the third inning. Grand Island leads 2-1 over the Lincoln Southwest Silverhawks. Stepping into the box, first up for Lincoln Southwest, it's the 2-hole hitter, the starting center fielder, Luke Mitchell. He was hit by a pitch his first time up. The first pitch of the at-bat is low and away in the dirt for a ball, 1-0. Mitchell was hit by that pitch in a 1-2 count in that first inning. Here's the 1-0 offering here. It's a breaking ball that clips the corner, 1-1.
I like the idea here for Sack going breaking ball early, Nick, because all 3 singles last inning that led to the run, Lincoln Southwest was on. They had him timed up pretty well, so to be able to pitch backwards 4 strikes with the breaking ball could go a long way if he can locate it.
Nice scoop behind the dish by Shoemaker, who still doesn't seem very comfortable. He got banged up, got hit, deflected, and had some baseballs ricochet off of him. This one, a jam shot, popped up. It's going to be a collision in foul territory. Luke Mitchell was running down the first baseline. Now the home plate umpire and the first base umpire are having a conversation. They're going to call Luke Mitchell out because he ran into the pitcher. Luke Mitchell is saying, I was trying to run down to first base. That ball was in foul territory. The pitcher, Grayson Sack, was on his horse trying to get to it because Shoemaker did not know where it was. Mitchell and Grayson Sack collided, and they call Luke Mitchell out. So that's the first out of the inning, as the first pitch of the at-bat to Ty Phillips is a breaker on the backdoor corner, on the outside corner, rather. It's going to be 0-1. So interference causes an out, and on 0-1, the ball will stay down and out of the zone, 1-1 to Ty Phillips. Ty lined out to the right fielder his first time up. 1 ball, 1 strike, 1 out. Here's the pitch, up and away, 2-1. And this is what I'm saying when I talk about Shoemaker behind the plate. One thing I'm noticing, his legs aren't moving the quickest. He's trying to scoop every ball rather than get down in a blocking stance and be willing to drop down and block it as Phillips fouls this 2-1 offering to the left side. We're now even at 2-2. Even on a ball that was up and away from the left-handed hitter there, he just wasn't able to get his glove out quick enough to grab it out of the air. It's just everything looks like it's going in slow motion behind the plate as Ty Phillips swings at an elevated heater for strike 3, and that's out number 2. So a good job by Grayson Sack, able to set down the first 2 hitters of this Lincoln Southwest bottom of the 3rd inning, as they now send their cleanup hitter, Alex Dawes, to the plate. Dawes lined out to the left fielder his first time up. This one, on the first pitch of the at-bat, is fouled off to the right side, 0-1. No balls, 1 strike, 2 outs here in the home half of the 3rd inning. Lincoln Southwest trails Grand Island 2-1. Here's the pitch from Sack. And once again, Shoemaker, every time he catches that ball, he just drops his head like he's in pain.
Obviously, we saw the fingers get taped in the bottom of the inning last time. I wonder if there's anything going on maybe with the wrist potentially as well, if he's in that much pain every time.
Mm-hmm. It's almost like it's up the forearm. He didn't have his forearm taped when he came out here. And that thumb, so he has his glove. He takes his glove off in between every single pitch. By the way, it was a foul ball on 1-1, so 1-2 to Alex Dawes coming up. 1 ball, 2 strikes, 2 outs here to the Silverhawks cleanup hitter. Swung on and fouled off to the left side. We'll do it again at 1-2. But what I was saying is that Shoemaker takes it literally every single pitch. He has taken his glove off, and he's trying to shake out his left hand, his glove hand. And so I wonder if it was the thumb, if something happened with his thumb to where it got bent back when a foul ball came and clipped him. Because when you squeeze that catcher's glove on the 1-2 pitch, it's upstairs 2-2. Every time you squeeze that thumb, it might radiate up your hand and even into the forearm a little bit. Here's the 2-2 pitch from Grayson Sack. Swung on and hit to the right side, but it's slicing foul. It's going to find the bleachers down the right field line.
And he's in a no-win situation because if he catches it clean right there in the pocket, it's going to make a nice pop where there's the least amount of padding, right? Mm-hmm. You have the heavy padding over the 4 fingers and over the thumb. But if he catches it wrong, hey, guess what? There's probably direct impact on the thumb.
2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Here's the pitch to Dawes. Outside, just outside. And we're full, 3-2. Nobody on base, 2 outs here in the bottom of the 3rd inning for Lincoln Southwest as the Silverhawks trail by 1, 2-1. The 3-2 pitch is a fly ball into fairly routine depth center field. The center fielder races back. The wind might have pushed that a little deeper towards the right center gap than I initially thought, but the center fielder is there to retire Alex Dawes on the fly out. So the Silverhawks go 1, 2, 3 in the 3rd. We go to the 4th. Due up for Grand Island in the 4th. 7, 8, and 9. We'll come back in 60 seconds on the ticket.
Jimmy John's, we don't make sandwiches. We make the sandwich of sandwiches. We use fresh veggies because we don't hate salads. We just feel bad for them. We make our sandwiches exactly how you want because you're the one who's eating it. And we bake bread all day, every day because stale bread isn't bread. It's croutons. Sandwich history is written by the victors. Good thing we have legible handwriting. Jimmy John's, the sandwich of sandwiches. Order pickup or delivery on the app.
If you've been looking for a reason to fill up your car with E15, how about this? E15
can help you save big at the pump
and save the planet by cutting greenhouse gas emissions.
Any car 2001 or newer is approved. Speaking of good, it's made from corn, which is great for farmers.
As I was saying, if you need a reason to choose E15, there you have them. E15, engine smart, earth kind. Visit chooseE15.com to learn more.
Back to more of the Class A State Baseball Tournament on 93.7 The Ticket.
Welcome back into Warner Park as Grand Island leads 2-1 over Lincoln Southwest. Here with the fourth inning for the first time today, it's Austin Norman.
Thank you much, Nick. Great to be here. Had to handle some administrative business back in the station, but now on to the fun part of the day, and that is state baseball. Caden Millard back on the hill for Lincoln Southwest. And yes, even though we are in the Omaha suburbs, it is not Caden Millard. It is Millard. Catcher couldn't squeeze the fastball, but it is over the outside edge for a strike 0-1. Another fastball cut on and fouled off high to the right side. Quickly down in the count 0-2 is Brock Cushing. 2-1 still the score in favor of the Islanders, the visitors. As Nick told you, had a lead on Lincoln East, but couldn't hold on to it and send last year's state champs down to the losers bracket. Millard comes set at the letters, brings home the 0-2. That one in off the hands. Racing back is the second baseman, and there in time is Alex Dawes to settle under it for the first out of the inning. That'll bring Miles Nelson to the plate. Nelson hit into a fielder's choice, but came around to score the second run of the inning back in the second.
It's funny, Austin, we were talking during the break. In the scoreboard out there in left center field right now, they've had they just updated the scoreboard before this season. And it's funny, there's 3 blocks of pixels that are out. They blew. I don't know if it was damaged in the storm last night. I don't know if it's just, there's just 3 blocks of pixels. They have some heavy machinery out there working to try to get it all patched up here at the state tournament while the game's going on.
Millard needs to patch up his mechanics right now. He's down to the count 2-0, yanked one into the left-handed batter's box and then just sailed one over Nelson's head. Millard's got some pretty decent velocity to him. Tall, lanky righty. As he comes set about belly high. Brings home the 2-0. That fastball is lifted into left. Can it get over Vernon's head? It can. Good effort by Brennan Vernon, but it falls harmlessly to the grass, and Miles Nelson aboard with a 1-out single.
Yeah, this is going to be interesting. We saw in the second inning, the bottom of that Grand Island lineup produced, and Cushing and Nelson, who's now at first base, those were the 2 runs to score for Grand Island. If the bottom of the order can continue to produce for the top of the order, you'd imagine guys like Aaron, Schroeder, and Sack up there in the 1, 2, and 3 spots will eventually get theirs.
Washburn got plunked his first at bat. He stands in with the runner on first base and 1 out. Millard fully disengaged, did not throw over to first on the pickoff move. Washburn climbs back into the box, puts his hand down. Millard's ready to go. 0-0 pitch misses high, 1-0. Millard's mechanics, like I've mentioned, Nick, have kind of come and gone. It doesn't look consistent from him out there on the bump, especially with that arm motion, maybe that landing spot as well as a fastball runs inside, now quickly down 2-0.
Well, sometimes he allows that front side to kind of fall off to his left side, which kind of opens up his chest and allows that arm to release that ball a little earlier rather than staying in. And it correlates with where he's been missing on the inner part of the plate. And then moments like this where he misses outside for his 3rd consecutive ball, he's trying to overcorrect. And so you yank it the opposite way.
It's 3-0 now to the 9-hitter Washburn. Attempting to get aboard for a free at bat the second time, and he does. Another fastball misses up and in from Millard, and we'll have a quick conference on the mound. It'll be catcher Joaquin Olivas heading out. 2 Islanders on base, 1 out for the top of the order. Here is Ian Ahrens, struck out in the first inning, singled, and drove in both runs in the second.
Nothing too concerning quite yet from Millard. I mean, you can work around this with the one out in the inning, obviously, but that's the second free pass that you've issued today. Last one came in the third inning, where fortunately you were able to strand him at second. Now you got a little bit more traffic on the base paths and the top of that Grand Island order.
It's like Coach Vernon is going to come out and we'll have a second mound conference, but first official one. He's going to give some time for his players to head down to the bullpen. Running out there right now is Cale Roach, a junior pitcher. We also have bullpen catcher Grady Vernon, the sophomore, headed out there. Already a couple bodies in that Lincoln Southwest pen. Saw someone in a gray jersey, looked like a lefty playing some catch. But again, Lincoln Southwest calls a conference to send Cale Roach out to the bullpen beyond center field. 2-1 ball game as we play in the fourth inning here at Werner Park. Day 2 of action in Class A. Previous game, you heard Omaha Westside stay alive, knocking off rival Creighton Prep. Junior Jay's season comes to an end with an 0-2 showing in the state tournament. Losses to Millard North and to Westside. Coach Vernon done chatting on the mound. Islanders returning to their respective bases. It's Miles Nelson at second base after a single and Carson Washburn at first after a walk. It's the fourth inning, and Ian Ahrens steps up for his third at bat. He struck out and he's singled, providing the game's first 2 runs. Millard with a couple peeks back to second brings a fastball low and in, 1-0. Millard a righty, Ahrens a lefty. Ahrens playing center field for the Islanders here today. Conservative leads for the Islanders on the base paths. Millard brings another fastball inside, 2-0. If you're Orange, you're seeking out one pitch in one spot. Assuming you get a fastball, if it's in your zone, do you pull the trigger? Millard, deep breath, couple peeks. Does bring a fastball home, but low, 3-0.
We're starting to see the body language from Millard as well, kind of yelling at himself in his glove after every single missed pitch. That's stuff that Grand Island picks up on as well. They know they're kind of getting to Millard. They're also just fine keeping the bat on their shoulder to see one.
3-0 taken down the middle, 3-1. Body language is a small thing, but it speaks volumes. Ahrens gives the plate a tap as he settles back into the batter's box. Millard ready to bring home the 3-1. After a peek to second, he does. Cut on, fouled back to the screen by Ahrens. Count runs full, 3-2. Really no reason, Nick, for a pitcher to hang his head in this situation. I know it's been a single and a free pass that put some traffic on the bases, but you're always just one pitch away. With a force at every base, you've gotten some ground outs today. And a pretty solid defensive infield behind you. Millard comes set, brings it home, shot to the third baseman, and caught on a line. And there in time as the second baseman does for the double play. It goes down 5-4. Kason Seymour in the right place at the right time to start that double play. Nelson could not make it back in time. Good piece of hitting from Ahrens. Hit it on the screws, but right at the third baseman to quell the threat. Halfway home here at Werner Park, it's Grand Island 2, Lincoln Southwest 1 as the Silverhawks come to bat in the home half of the fourth next on 93.7 The Ticket.
Are you looking for an exciting new way to put your skills to work? Explore new career options in the fintech industry at Currency, a Sandhills Global company. We offer full-time positions in financial sales, compliance, operations, and other fields. We also offer a 4.5-day work week, an attractive benefits package, and opportunities for advancement. Put your motivation to work and grow with us at Currency. Visit gocurrency.com/careers to learn more.
If you're a homeowner or a business owner, you have a lot of projects, and no one has an unlimited budget or time. Sunbelt Rentals makes all jobs less stressful with no need to purchase large equipment or hire a crew. You can do it yourself with rentals in everything from aerators and power rakes for spring yard work to stump grinders, concrete mixers, tile saws, and more. Check out their inventory in Lincoln, north of Cornhusker Highway on 56th Street, or online at sunbeltrentals.com.
Back to more of the Class A State Baseball Tournament on 93.7 The Ticket.
2-1, Grand Island on top of Lincoln Southwest here in the fourth inning. We're waiting for Grand Island catcher Sam Schroeder to get his gear on. He was left in the on-deck circle, had to put on every piece of gear from head to toe. Austin Norman, Nick Stainer with you. And leading off for Lincoln Southwest, Nick, will be Kason Seymour. He singled and came around to score the game's first run. Seymour, right place at the right time. Heck of a shot off the bat of Ian Ahrens. I don't even want to put too much fault there on Miles Nelson as well. Maybe an extra secondary shuffle is all he took, but that ball was hit so hard, Nelson had really no chance at scrambling back in time.
Yeah, I'll be honest. I mean, most of the time it's freeze on a line drive. Both guys did. Both runners at first and second. They froze after their secondary lead. It was just hit so hard and on a rope right at the third baseman that there was just nothing you could do about it.
Grayson Sack starts Seymour off with a couple breaking balls. He got the first one in the zone for a called strike. Now Sack and Ruiz give it a run down to first base, but it lands on top of the dugout. So Sack quickly ahead, 0-2. Sack's a good athlete there, Nick. He's sitting to the top of that Grand Island lineup. I love the effort from him running all the way down to the dugout railing, essentially. If you're the Grand Island coaching staff, maybe you tell your pitcher, hey, appreciate you giving it a run, but that's got to be our catcher and first baseman's job to get over there. Sack ahead, 0-2 Seymour. That's a fastball hit on a line and just past the outstretched arm of second baseman Carson Washburn on into right field. And Kason Seymour now 2 for 2 on the day with a pair of singles.
And it's something to watch now. Washburn over at second base. He's getting up. I think he landed awkwardly on that shoulder on the outstretched glove, or when he outstretched his arm there, landed awkwardly on that shoulder. Sometimes falling down, you can kind of pop that shoulder into an uncomfortable position. Something to watch there as we go forward out of the second baseman.
Looking at his wrist a little bit there as well. Washburn didn't miss it by much. So leadoff runner is on in the form of Kason Seymour for Andrew Jackson. Jackson singled and made it all the way to third back in the second, but he was stranded there. Zach with a light step off, pick off throw over to first. He's now back on the mound, ready to bring it home to Jackson. That one chopped on the ground and just over the glove of the third baseman. It'll be stopped by the shortstop. An infield single for Andrew Jackson. The first two Silverhawks are aboard.
Yeah, Gavin Ruther, the third baseman for Grand Island, probably going to want that one back. He didn't work down to up. He kind of worked and tried to stab at it to try to go quickly and have the ball right up by where he can make that transition from his glove to his throwing hand to throw to second for one. Need to work down to up, work out towards it, and just make sure of one out. Now you have two runners on base and nobody out.
This is pretty much how the second inning went here, playing out again in the bottom of the fourth. Leadoff singles by the first two batters. And here's Jackson Pieper, who squares to bunt but takes it low, 1-0.
Are you surprised? We've had this debate, Austin. Are you surprised that was marked as a single?
No, I don't think so.
He was playing it on the cut.
Ruther could have had it, but he didn't have it. Didn't take off his glove. Was ranging into the hole. That one shot down the line to first. Ruiz is going to be able to body up and knock it down in time. Hard hit ball off the bat of Jackson Pieper. Ends up doing his job moving the runners to second and third.
Yeah, essentially works as a fielder's choice, or excuse me, a sacrifice. I mean, it's listed as a fielder's choice, but essentially it works as a sacrifice bunt there because you move him over. Ruiz lucky. He was playing in on the grass, and he kind of set his glove down and knocked it down. He was able to scoop it up and walk it over to first.
The hot corner typically refers to third base. It is equally applicable to first base in that situation. So here's Olivas. He had a sacrifice bunt, moving runners to second and third back in the second. He will likely not be asked to square now with both runners in scoring position. There's a hanging breaking ball for a strike, 0-1. Given that ball wasn't contacted, it stayed on the infield. I'm okay with the infield single on the previous one. Fastball misses out, 1-1. It's one for Schroeder, Nick. He's pretty much set up exclusively in the middle of the plate. Sometimes we see at this level, catchers, if they reposition themselves, they're willing to be given the benefit of the doubt. Olivas going to chop that one up the middle. Ought to score a run. On it and firing over to first is the shortstop Cushing, but that'll tie the game. So Olivas comes through with an RBI 6-3 fielder's choice, and that will tie the game at 2 runs apiece. Bring up the 9-hole hitter Cash Shoemaker, aggressive early in the count before fouling out to the third baseman back to end the second. Sack ready to bring it home to the lefty Shoemaker. He watches that fastball miss up and out, 1-0. Sack's 1-0 missed the exact same spot, 2-0.
It's good to see. We're seeing an adjustment and a growth in real time. Shoemaker, who's just a sophomore, swung at the first pitch, similar to what he's seen the first two pitches of this at-bat, popped out in his first time up. This time, understood, okay, they're going to probably do the similar type of thing to me this time. He's watched 2 balls. Now he did watch strike 1 right there.
Not his pitch, his spot, 2-1, so good approach being shown by the sophomore Shoemaker, who took a step forward and moved his arms forward a little bit, but not enough to get a strike. So count runs to 3-1 on the sophomore. Third base occupied right now by Andrew Jackson. Shoemaker watches that one travel high, ball 4. Good patience at the plate there by the sophomore to turn the lineup over to Brennan Vernon, who's flown out to right and lined out to right. Hit it pretty well. Ball's not going to carry quite as far today with the heavier air.
I wouldn't be surprised to see Shoemaker maybe try to swipe a bag here, put 2 guys into scoring position for the top of your order.
In worst case scenario, he gets thrown out. Hey, guess what?
Yeah.
Top of your order to start the 5th.
Yeah, Mitch Vernon down there at third base yells out a series of 3 numbers. Everybody looks at their play sheet, puts it back in their back pockets, and we're ready to play baseball. Wouldn't be surprised to see them test Shoemaker, who's been a little lackadaisical today on this one.
Schroeder, the catcher.
Or excuse me, yes, Schroeder. Who did I say?
You said Shoemaker. Who's the runner at first?
Shoemaker's the runner at first. Schroeder.
Breaking ball missed out. Might have been a good pitch to run on, one that Schroeder was really lunging for, but Shoemaker remains at first base as Vernon comes to plate for the 3rd time today. He's 0 for 2. Vernon takes another breaking ball, this time for a strike, 1-1. Brennan Vernon this season, a .321 batting average. He's a senior, manning shortstop. Takes a sec to tuck the jersey and the call sheet back into his pocket. Zach ready to bring home the 1-1. Now Shoemaker runs. Schroeder does fire all the way through. It's cut off by the shortstop for Grand Island, Brock Cushing. So it's a ball. Now a 2-1 count for Vernon with a pair of Silverhawks in scoring position. Good job by Schroeder keeping that throw pretty low so Cushing could get in front, cut it off, and hold Jackson, the designated hitter, at third base. The 2-1 to Vernon. Cut on and popped up on the infield. Zach being called off by his first baseman. Ruiz over behind the mound to make the catch and end the Lincoln Southwest threat there. Silverhawks tie it up at 2. We head to the top of the 5th inning. Grand Island coming to bat for the Islanders. It'll be Schroeder, Zach, and Ruiz when we return to 93.7 The Ticket.
Imagine starting your day with a computer glitch that leaves you feeling stuck, frustrated, and unable to get your work done. You have 1,000,001 things to get done today, and waiting for the tech issue to solve itself isn't one of them. It's time to let Hamilton handle the tech so you don't have to. We help businesses across the state spend more time on what they do best and less time frustrated with office technology. As the official business IT partner of the Huskers, we're focused on providing custom solutions that set you up for success now and in the future. Connect with us today at hamiltonisbusiness.com.
If you've been looking for a reason to fill up your car with E15, how about this? E15
can help you save big at the pump
and save the planet by cutting greenhouse gas emissions.
Any car 2001 or newer is approved. Speaking of good, it's made from corn, which is great for farmers.
As I was saying, if you need a reason to choose E15, there you have them. E15, engine smart, earth kind. Visit chooseE15.com to learn more.
Back to more of the Class A State Baseball Tournament on 93.7 The Ticket.
2-2 as we enter the 5th inning here. Losers bracket elimination game in the Class A State Tournament. Austin Orman and Nick Sainer with you. Nick will stick around for the next game, but excited to get Tristan Gomez on the call. I believe his baseball debut on the ticket.
That's correct.
Caden Millard versus 2-hole hitter Sam Schroeder for Grand Island, as Millard's first pitch is a fastball in for a strike, 0-1. When Millard's mechanics are on, his velocity definitely plays up. Schroeder today is 0 for 2. Now he's down in the count 0-2. He grounded out to second base and flew out to center field. The 0-2 breaker, knee high but out, 1-2. Nick, that's a really good 0-2 miss there. Close enough to get a big, powerful hitter like Schroeder to chase. Millard comes set, takes a deep breath, peers into the glove of Olivas, yanks a fastball out, 2-2. A little bit of a hop step there. Millard knew it was out as soon as he released it. Millard shakes off. Now he gives the nod to Olivas. Shrug of the shoulders. He comes that 2-2. Chop to short. Vernon. Running play in the hole. Long throw across the diamond and a good stretch at first. Reaching all the way out is Ty Phillips, helping his shortstop out once again. Helpful as well that Schroeder, the catcher, not the fleetest of foot, but a heck of a play in the hole by Brennan Vernon for the first out. That brings up Grayson Sack, the pitcher for Grand Island. He singled with 2 outs in the first and lined to center in the third. He play here in the fifth, and he takes a fastball low, 1-0. Sack this year enters the state tournament with a .341 batting average. The previous 2 matchups of these 2 teams have gone the Islanders' way. Aggregate score 13-7. It was an 11-7 win and a 2-0 win. 2 very different games. Not too different results on the first 2 pitches for Millard or the first 3. He's missed with all of them and trails in the count 3-0. 1 away, top of the 5th. Lincoln Southwest and Grand Island. Sack keeps the bat firmly planted on his shoulders. He takes a fastball for a strike, 3-1. Millard working quickly, trying to get back in that rhythm. Sack chops that one. Seymour takes it on a big hop. He'll fire across the diamond in plenty of time. The Islander pitcher is retired for the second out. So 6-3 and 5-3 for the first 2 outs of the inning, bringing up Gabe Ruiz, who's flown to left and struck out. Ruiz, big, strong right-handed batter, playing first base today for Grand Island. He's ready to go, so is Millard. Out of the stretch, breaking ball bounces at the front of the lefty batter's box, 1-0. Nick, you mentioned Ruiz stepping out, a little bit of a loopy swing as well. Maybe a candidate for high fastballs. As Millard tried it up there and got the call. Ruiz didn't like it. Nice couple hops in the batter's box, but he'll climb back in with the 1-1 count.
I would also love the combination of hard on the hands and soft away. Something, I mean, if you can control your changeup here, if you're Millard, just like that.
There it is. Got Ruiz to foul tip it into the glove of Olivas, and Millard jumps ahead in the count 1-2. Maybe a backdoor changeup as well to a righty. It's going to drop straight down. Millard's 1-2. Stared at, and down goes Ruiz. A breaking ball and a beauty for the third strike. 1-2-3 go the Islanders. Lincoln Southwest looking to take its first lead of the day. The Silverhawks will come to the plate in the bottom of the 5th with Mitchell, Phillips, and Dawes. We'll tell you about that next on 93.7 The Ticket.
Imagine if the people who work at your bank were neighbors who could help with a home loan.
Congratulations. You're approved.
Or friends who love to shop local.
Have a good one.
At UBT, who you work with matters just as much as what you're working toward.
Hey, thanks for helping.
That's why your money has more than a banker. It has people. Union Bank and Trust. Member FDIC.
If you're a homeowner or a business owner, you have a lot of projects, and no one has an unlimited budget or time. Sunbelt Rentals makes all jobs less stressful with no need to purchase large equipment or hire a crew. You can do it yourself with rentals and everything from aerators and power rakes for spring yard work to stump grinders, concrete mixers, tile saws, and more. Check out their inventory in Lincoln, north of Cornhusker Highway on 56th Street, or online at sunbeltrentals.com.
Back to more of the Class A State Baseball Tournament on 93.7 The Ticket.
Want to thank our friends at Raising Cane's for their support of high school baseball all season long. Raising Cane's Chicken Fingers, one love.
Thank you, Nick. Thank you, Raising Cane's. They're just down the block from us, about 3 blocks in Lincoln.
I was going to say, where are we at here? Because I would take some.
I absolutely would as well, as Mitchell leads off the bottom of the 5th with a tapped bunt directly back to the pitcher, Sack. 1 pitch, 1 out in the bottom of the 5th. Our friend Darren at Raising Cane's has always come through for us.
Are you the typical no slaw extra toast guy?
Oh yeah, in a heartbeat. I have not yet found a coleslaw that I enjoy, and that is no offense to the people I know who have made some coleslaw that they enjoy, but it is just not for me.
What is it about it? Are you out on?
Well, it's the dressing and the whole concept
Gotcha.
of vegetables generally. As Phillips takes a fastball high, he's ahead in the count, 2-0. And besides, why would I have dressed up vegetables when instead I can get more buttered bread?
I was going to say, are you aware
Schroeder's
of
in
the
pain again?
Yeah, are you aware of the buttered on both sides thing?
Oh, I am.
Okay, good.
I am. Oh, yeah.
I feel like it's important. Maybe Darren doesn't want us to tell people that because I know they make it fresh. I mean, they make it fresh all the time, but they actually have to physically butter it on both sides.
Phillips takes a fastball over the outer edge as Schroeder keels over in pain again. It's 3-1. At this point, it's one of those open secrets. It's hardly a secret.
Sure.
I would think. Phillips smacks that one in the air to center field. It's going to hang up. Drifting back into the left center field gap is the center fielder, Ahrens, and Phillips goes down for the second out of the inning.
See, if you're wanting to be really smart, you could do no slaw extra fries because like another piece of toast is like 79 cents. I mean, you could just get extra fries and extra toast if you're really trying to
maximize.
Yeah, maximize everything there. Because the side of fries is more expensive than the side of toast.
It is.
So
over $1, I think, for the side of fries. That was fouled right back to us on the first pitch of the at-bat by Dawes.
I guess that's a little price per bite type of thing. A little PPB action. I'm excited.
Okay.
I'm excited as College World Series is around the corner. I'm going to get a fresh perspective of price per bite at the College World Series.
Zach still on the mound. Dawes fouls that one back off over the PA box head, 0-2. I assume you're not a one fry at a time guy, so it's a few.
I think it depends on the fries.
Well, Cane's fries, since that's the topic of conversation.
Yeah. I'm taking a handful.
Sacks up 0-2. Dawes lines that one directly to the second baseman. Squeezing it for the third out is Carson Washburn. A quick 1-2-3 inning worked by Grayson Sacken. Grand Island looks to reclaim an advantage that it held. Islanders were up 2-0. We're tied 2-2 as we head to the sixth here in the Class A State Baseball Tournament on 93.7 The Ticket.
Spring sports are here and it's time to upgrade your equipment. But don't go rushing to your big box store. Play It Again Sports is your place to go for all spring sports equipment for baseball, softball, golf, and disc golf. Play It Again Sports has quality, slightly to gently used equipment, and 50% of their inventory is actually new equipment. And don't forget, buying from them is a great way to get new products with great discounts by also bringing in your used items for store credit or cash on the spot. Play It Again Sports at 48th and Vine.
While folks love all of Hog Wild's award-winning barbecue options, many have a real soft spot for the Carolina pulled pork sandwich. Hog Wild serves their tender, slow-smoked pulled pork on a soft bun and piles it high with tangy coleslaw. There's nothing else on the menu like it. The added bonus? You get to have a side dish like curly fries or baked beans. Order online at GoHogWild.com. Hog Wild Pit Barbecue, 3210 Cornhusker Highway in Lincoln.
But don't be late, we close at 8. Back to more of the Class A State Baseball Tournament on 93.7 The Ticket.
Yes, indeed. Class A State Baseball Tournament from Werner Park. Austin Orman and Nick Stainer with you. Action in both bullpens as Caden Millard climbs the hill for the sixth inning. He's due to face 5, 6, and 7, Mater, Ruther, and Cushing. Mater, first pitch swinging, will slap a fastball through the pole side for a single. He's aboard to begin the Islander sixth. He got a fastball in a good spot. More than happy to turn on it. Here comes Coach Vernon trudging out to the mound. It's not yet signaled to the bullpen. There's been some action out there for a couple innings. Looks like he is going to take the baseball from Millard. At one point, Lincoln Southwest ran Cale Roach out. We'll see if that's who's in. We'll step aside for 30 seconds. Be right back here on 93.7 The Ticket.
At Raising Cane's, we focus on making the most craveable chicken finger meals, getting them right every time. That's why we hand batter every chicken finger, mix every cane sauce, butter every Texas toast, stir every slaw, salt every fry, squeeze every lemon, and brew every ounce. We do this inside every Raising Cane's, every day, because when you do it right, you can taste it in every bite. Raising Cane's chicken fingers, one love.
Back to more of the Class A State Baseball Tournament on 93.7 The Ticket.
The new pitcher for Lincoln Southwest, Keenan DeUmick. Righty, as was Millard. Austin Norman and Nick Sainer with you. Reaching with a leadoff single was Ethan Mater. He's aboard for the third time today. In the bottom half of the heart of the lineup for the Islanders. With Mater on, that brings up Ruther. Cushing is in the hole, and then he'll be on deck, and then Miles Nelson will be in the hole. Mater entered the state tournament with a .357 batting average. Ruther all the way up at .392. After him is Cushing in a .226 average. Quality start for Millard, Nick. Not the 6-inning quality start you'd think of in a 9-inning major league game, but going 5 out of 7, a little bit better percentage-wise. Millard certainly kept his team in the game, really ran into trouble there back in the second inning, but worked around pretty much everything else.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. And how about the day for Ethan Mater so far out of Grand Island? The 5-hole hitter so far, 2 for 2 with 2 singles and a walk as well. He's done a good job of kind of being that bridge between obviously the top and the bottom half of the lineup. But the bottom half of the lineup has actually had a better day at the plate than the top half. Out of the top 4 hitters, they are combined 1 for 12 at the plate right now. 2 for 12. Grayson Sack had a single and Ian Aarons had a single. Other than that, they've combined for multiple strikeouts. They've combined for a couple of flyouts, a couple of groundouts. Top half of the lineup hasn't produced right now. Feels like this is a good chance for Grand Island to get that lead back.
Deumik is set. Ruther stands in the box, righty-righty matchup. Quick pick and a pirouette spin over to first by Deumik. The back in time is Mater. If I'm Grand Island here, Nick, I feel like I'd like to play for more than one run.
Yeah.
With nobody out in the leadoff man aboard, even against a fresh arm. Deumik, like Millard, a tall righty. Ruther pushes a bunt foul. Got underneath it, 0-1.
Well, I think, here's the thing. The other way to look at it, you need 6 outs from your pitcher. You feel good about your bullpen where it's at, right? You feel good about the outing that Grayson Sack has given you. I think if you're Kirby Wells, down in that third base coaching box, you sit there and go, we get 1 across here. You got to get 6 outs out of a guy.
Deumik set at the belt. He'll bring it home. Ruther squares the bunt again. Hits that lip and rolls foul. Saw that out of Lincoln Southwest before, but this time Ruther now finds himself down in the count. No balls and 2 strikes. Failure to do a job has cost many a team in this tournament. Still some time to go, so not crippling, not fatal if it's not put down successfully by Ruther, but he's now down in the count 0-2. 2 runs on 5 hits both ways. The big hit for Grand Island, a 2-run single in the second by Ian Ahrens. Here comes the 0-2 from Deumik. Breaking ball into beauty. Tight slider, but missed at the ankles, 1-2. Really sharp break on that one out of the hand of number 11.
Yeah, biggest issue with the bunt right now, they're having it when they go to square, that barrel is below where the hands are. And so everything has not only side spin, but everything gets popped up. Got to keep that barrel above those hands.
Deumik picks over to first again. Interesting look with the footwork on that move. Nick, he's making it very obvious that he's disengaged with that back right heel. Deumik gets the ball back from his first baseman. He's set again. Brings home the 1-2. Breaking ball missed letter high, 2-2. Runner on first is Mater. He reached for the 3rd time today on a first pitch single leading off the 6th. That led to the pitching change. Keenan Deumik now facing Gavin Ruther. Righty-righty matchup. The righty Deumik brings it home. Fastball just outside, 3-2.
It's a really good miss if you're Deumik. It's a really good miss. A better job by Ruther staying off of it. Grand Island's doing what they're doing as the lower seed team in this one. Probably a little bit undermatched, right? Especially offensively against the power arms. They're just working at bats.
See what the power arm brings home. It is a fastball, inner corner, strike 3 called, and Ruther goes down looking. Worked him outside in to get him looking. There's the first out of the inning. That brings up Brock Cushing. Cushing came around to score the game's first run in the second. He popped out to second for the first out of the 4th. Cushing playing shortstop awaits the pitch from Deumik. This one swung on and lifted to center. It sends the center fielder back, and making a running catch is Luke Mitchell. That ball carried further than Mitchell thought it was going to, but he still found time to get underneath it for the second out.
Yeah, it was a really good swing by Brock Cushing, the Grand Island shortstop, probably about 20 feet shy of the warning track or so. but with the wind slightly, it's shifted. It's blowing directly in from center field right at home plate, and that ball continued to fight through that wind to get Luke Mitchell back about 10 to 15 steps.
Didn't sound that good off the bat, but it was. It kept going. Now Nelson will line one over the head of Dawes for a 2-out single, pushing Mater to second base. Just like that, go-ahead run moves up 90 feet to scoring position on a first-pitch single. A lot of first-pitch aggression, Nick. You saw Mater jump on the first pitch, Cushing get it, and now Nelson for singles.
Yeah, and I mean, now Nelson, I mean, you look at it, Nelson's himself is 2 for 3 today with 2 singles. I mean, now it's just a matter of, can Carson Washburn answer the call here, whether that be pass the baton. We saw him do that back in the second inning that allowed Ian Aarons to have the 2 RBI single, but can you just pass the baton, get a base hit, get Grand Island back in front?
Washburn first pitch swinging. That one will hang up. Phillips will drift back and make the catch for the 3rd out of the inning. Islanders were on it timing-wise. They are not on the scoreboard. We head to the bottom of the 6th in a 2-2 ball game. Lincoln Southwest coming to bat after this on the ticket.
If you're a homeowner or a business owner, you have a lot of projects, and no one has an unlimited budget or time. Sunbelt Rentals makes all jobs less stressful with no need to purchase large equipment or hire a crew. You can do it yourself with rentals and everything from aerators and power rakes for spring yard work to stump grinders, concrete mixers, tile saws, and more. Check out their inventory in Lincoln, north of Cornhusker Highway on 56th Street, or online at sunbeltrentals.com.
At Raising Cane's, we focus on making the most craveable chicken finger meals, getting them right every time. That's why we hand batter every chicken finger, mix every cane sauce, butter every Texas toast, stir every slaw, salt every fry, squeeze every lemon, and brew every ounce. We do this inside every Raising Cane's, every day, because when you do it right, you can taste it in every bite. Raising Cane's chicken fingers, one love.
Back to more of the Class A State Baseball Tournament on 93.7 The Ticket.
Got a good one going here. We're in the bottom of the 6th inning, a 2-2 game. Grand Island and Lincoln Southwest in a struggle. Austin Orman, Nick Sainert with you. And Nick, this is where Lincoln Southwest has done its damage today. Kason Seymour, Andrew Jackson, and Jackson Pieper all due up. Seymour has led off the 2nd and the 4th innings with singles and come around to score both times.
Yeah, it's crazy. You look at those 2nd and 3rd innings, the 5, 6, 7 hitters in this lineup, a combined 5 for 6 in those 2 innings combined.
Seymour first pitch swinging. He rips it down to 3rd, but there making the grab is Gavin Ruther. Turnabout's fair play. Seymour snagged one of those himself to start a double play a couple innings ago. Now he's retired on the L5 first pitch.
Yeah, the middle of the order has been really, really good. Those 5, 6, 7 hitters for both sides have really been kind of the engine that's driven this lineup for both sides.
Grayson Sack is still on the bump for Grand Island, we should note. He will be due up 2nd in the top of the 7th. Gets a fastball over the bat of Jackson, jumps ahead in the count 0-1. That one fouled back our way, 0-2. For Lincoln Southwest here, Nick, they're able to scratch across a run. They're just 3 outs away as the home team. Jackson back in the box. Sack gets the sign from Schroeder, who does jump outside on the 0-2. Fastball waved at and missed, and down 1, 2, 3 strikes at a time is Andrew Jackson. That brings up Jackson Pieper. Pieper today had that single and the RBI that scored Seymour back in the 2nd. Then had what functioned as a sacrifice, as Nick mentioned, back in the 4th. Pieper is tall lefty. Sack a shorter righty. Fastball floats just out, 1-0. Like Sack might have taken a little bit off of that one. He brings home the 1-0. Back to full velocity, but high, 2-0. Patience still can be the name of the game for Lincoln Southwest. Get a 2-out rally going any way the Silverhawks can. Sack brings a fastball home, 2-0. Make it 3-0. Schroeder's still in some pretty visible pain. There behind the dish. Showed it between innings, and that one in the dirt was a little slow to get to and get up from. Sack's 3-0. Taking out a edge with a fastball, 3-1. Really respect an upperclassman there, Nick, in Sam Schroeder, gutting through it in what could be his team's final game, as that one's going to be laced to right by Pieper, and down for a 2-out single. Good piece of hitting there by Jackson Pieper, taking a pitch on the outer half the other way, attempting to catalyze a 2-out rally for the Silverhawks.
This is what we talk about here. You're going to have 8-9 hitters due up next with 2 outs here in the bottom of the 6th. Can Grayson Sack get you one more out? You're one pitch away. Can you get you one more out? You have a couple of arms warming up in that Grand Island bullpen, but this is where you minimize damage and no harm, no foul. The 2-out single doesn't come back to hurt you if you make some competitive pitches.
That one is going to be tapped back up the middle and off the body of the second baseman, Washburn. He started over towards second base as Pieper took a couple hard steps like he was faking the steal. Washburn looked like he tried to turn a little bit too quickly and take that force out at second base. So Olivas will reach on the E4, and the go-ahead run reaches scoring position. Another huge spot, Nick, for Cash Shoemaker.
Yeah, here we go. Cash, sophomore. We saw the growth in the at-bats from his AB in the second inning to the AB in the third. Much more selective, I should say much more disciplined. We'll see if he can find his pitch to hit, maybe put something through the right side here.
Shoemaker, a lefty, waits pitch from the righty Sack. He goes after the first pitch, skies it to right field. Islanders converging. The ball reaches foul territory. Washburn slowed up. No communication from his right fielder, whose ball that probably should have been.
Yeah, Ethan Mater stopped running, and he's the guy that's coming in on it. He had plenty of time. That one stayed up, and it was trending toward foul territory. Obviously, the wind was slightly pushing it farther and farther foul, but, man, I mean, that's going to be one that we look back on. If Shoemaker's able to deliver here, Austin, that's one that would have gotten you out of the inning.
I get shades of Arkansas, Oregon State. But it's a tie game. No rally needed right now. Shoemaker swings through a breaker, 0-2.
I'll be interested to see what Grayson Sack does. Does he rear back and try to elevate something on the sophomore, or do we see him maybe kind of try to break one off and stay outside?
We'll get our decision here in about a split second. It's a fastball up and in, 1-2. They tried the elevated fastball. He'll reset with a 1-2 count. Shoemaker ready. He's in a little bit of a squat with the bat waggle. Lead runner heads for third. Shoemaker fouled that one off his hands to the left side. We'll do it again, 1-2. Hit and run put on there potentially?
Well, I think Grayson Sack's been doing the same exact thing. I've been watching him the last couple of times. I think that was a timing steal. Judgment by the runner at second, Pieper. Good observation, but Sack just hasn't been looking at him.
Pieper now being held closer as Sack misses further out, 2-2.
Teams I would imagine have different kind of ideas on that. Hey, if you notice a pitcher does the same thing 3 pitches in a row for some number X times in a row, go off on your own.
Pieper's a senior. He's seen plenty of baseball. Seems like a kid to trust. Shoemaker watches that one high, 3-2. Now, Nick, there's no decision. Full count with 2 outs. Runners will be in motion.
Yeah, now you're a gap shot away from making this a 2-run game with the runners in motion. I mean, that got to kind of stone up and make a pitch here if you're Grayson Sack.
Sack comes set. He brings it home. Shoemaker swings and misses, and Grayson Sack gets him with the fastball to keep the game knotted at 2. We head to the 7th inning in a 2-2 ball game for Grand Island. You will have Ahrens, Schroeder, and Sack, the top of the lineup, due up in a 2-2 ball game next on the ticket.
3, 2, 1. The drop is live. Screens freeze everywhere, except yours. You've been training for this moment. And with Allo Fiber's zero-lag precision, you strike first. No lag, no limits, just speed. Can your internet provider do that? Stay ahead of every drop. Visit allofiber.com/all-in.
Remember your first Salt Dogs game? Maybe it was a class trip out on the berm, or date night with actual fireworks, or team building that didn't feel like work at all. For 25 seasons, Haymarket Park remains Lincoln's place for firsts like these, the kind that last. Because it's more than a baseball game. It's the joy of being here together. These are the traditions that bring us home. So here's to you, Lincoln. Your local tradition plays on. Get your tickets at saltdogs.com.
This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. Also online at theticketfm.com. On the internet. KNTK FM Firth, 93.7 The Ticket. Back to more of the Class A State Baseball Tournament on 93.7 The Ticket.
Keenan DeUmick ready to work quickly. Austin Orman here, but with the call of the 7th inning, Nick Sainer.
Thank you, Austin. This elimination game, DeUmick with a 1-0 count goes upstairs with it, 2-0 to Ian Ahrens, the Grand Island leadoff hitter here in the 7th inning. Top of the order due up as GI will send Ahrens, Schroeder, and Sack to the plate. Ahrens ahead in the count, 2-0. The pitch swung on, roped through the right side. It takes a very friendly GI bounce over that cut of grass into the outfield, and into right field it goes for a leadoff single. I like the approach by Ian Ahrens as he, with a 2-0 advantage, wasn't looking to get ball 3. He was looking to drive something through that right side, which he exactly did. And now the Grand Island has their leadoff base runner on for their 2-hole hitter, Sam Schroeder, who is 0 for 3 today with a couple of ground outs and a fly out to Luke Mitchell out in center field. Ahrens runs well. He's over at first base. Schroeder squares to bunt, gets it down. It's a beautiful bunt as the pitcher's fielding practice over with the underhand toss to first base. But Sam Schroeder sacrifices Ian Ahrens over to second base successfully. So that is out number 1, 1-3 on the putout. But now Ian Ahrens in scoring position out at second base with just 1 out to bring up the pitcher, Grayson Sack. Sack hits third in the Grand Island order. He's 1 for 3. Righty-righty matchup with 1 out in the top of the 7th. Breaking ball cuts in there for a strike, 0-1. We've seen 1 extra innings game so far in our early stages of the tournament. That came on Friday in Millard North and Creighton Prep, a game that went 9 innings. Here in the top of the 7th, we're tied at 2-2. Runner at second is Ahrens. The 0-1 offering before we have that, a pick-off attempt to second base, and back in time is Ahrens. So once again, similar to Southwest, the middle of the order to bottom of the order has been productive for Grand Island. We'll see if Grayson Sack can do something here in the top of the 7th, help himself out a little bit. The 0-1 offering from DeUmick. Swung on a high pop fly. It's going to stay in the infield. Vernon ranges over from his post at shortstop, a couple steps to his right, fields it cleanly for the out. F6 on the fly out. And just like that, now DeUmick is 1 pitch away, and it'll go against Gabe Ruiz from getting out of this inning and stranding a Grand Island runner in scoring position here in a tie ball game in the top of the 7th.
Pretty good pitch to hit there for Sack. He just really dropped the hands and skied underneath that one.
Gabe Ruiz has struck out his last 2 at-bats as he watches strike 1 down Broadway, 0-1. He flew out to the left fielder back in the 1st inning, struck out swinging in the 3rd, and then a backwards K in the 5th. Runner at second is Ahrens, who started this inning off with a leadoff single before getting sacrificed over by Sam Schroeder on the bunt. Then a fly out to the shortstop is where we're at now. No balls, 1 strike. DeUmick delivers, and he hits Gabe Ruiz in the back of the head. And that's why you wear a helmet, ladies and gentlemen. As Gabe Ruiz is going to jog on down to the first base bag. Another hit by pitch for the Lincoln Southwest pitching staff to bring up a guy that has been pretty successful today, and Ethan Mater. Mater is 2 for 2 with 2 singles, 1 in the 2nd inning, 1 in the 6th inning, and then a walk back in the 3rd. We do have a pinch runner for Gabe Ruiz as well. It's going to be number 6.
Benton Chalewski.
Thank you. Benton Chalewski, a sophomore outfielder, will be running for Gabe Ruiz. But as we mentioned, Ethan Mater has been the most productive, I would say, through 3 at-bats, hitter in this Grand Island lineup. Runners at first and second. Righty-lefty matchup. Here's the pitch. Breaking ball stays upstairs for a ball. 1-0. Ian Ahrens is standing at the second base bag. Chalewski is occupying first after Gabe Ruiz was hit by a pitch. Ethan Mater, the left-handed hitter, against Dahumik. Swung on, and that one's popped foul to the left side. We're even at 1-1.
Mater gave himself a look. He knew that was hittable. He could have handled that one probably through the left side.
The game that will follow ours is going to be Millard North and Millard South. That's a winner's bracket game. This is an elimination matchup between Grand Island and Lincoln Southwest. Here's the 1-1 pitch. Outside corner, strike two. Good fastball there by Dahumik as runners are at first and second. 2 outs here in the top of the 7th inning and a tied 2-2 ball game. Grand Island, 2 runs on 7 hits. Lincoln Southwest, 2 runs on 6 hits. Dahumik 1 pitch away from getting out of the jam and stranding 2 runners on base against Mater. It's low and away. Good stop behind the dish by Olivas, and we're even at 2-2.
Important stop because those extra 90 feet for that trail runner are huge. A ball that would reach the outfield grass would likely be worth a pair of runs instead of just 1.
2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs here in the top half of the 7th inning for Grand Island. As the Islanders scored 2 in the top of the 2nd, Lincoln Southwest scored 1 in the bottom of the 2nd and bottom of the 4th. As this swung on, it's going to be a blooper out to shallow right field. The second baseman ranges back, and he's able to haul it in for out number 3. On the fly out, it is the end of the top of the 7th. We go to the bottom of the 7th inning. Due up for the Silverhawks when they have a chance to win it. It's the top of the order. Brennan Vernon, Luke Mitchell, and Ty Phillips all due up in the home half of the 7th inning. We'll see if Lincoln Southwest can walk it off or if we're going to extras when we come back here on 93.7 The Ticket.
If you've been looking for a reason to fill up your car with E15, how about this? E15
can help you save big at the pump
and save the planet by cutting greenhouse gas emissions.
Any car 2001 or newer is approved. Speaking of good, it's made from corn, which is great for farmers.
As I was saying, if you need a reason to choose E15, there you have them. E15, engine smart, earth kind. Visit chooseE15.com to learn more.
Imagine if the people who work at your bank or neighbors who could help with a home loan.
Congratulations, you're approved.
Or friends who love to shop local.
Have a good one.
At UBT, who you work with matters just as much as what you're working toward.
Hey, thanks for helping.
That's why your money has more than a banker. It has people. Union Bank and Trust. Member FDIC.
Back to more of the Class A State Baseball Tournament on 93.7 The Ticket.
So for Grand Island here in the bottom of the 7th inning, they will face off against the top of the Lincoln Southwest order. However, for Lincoln Southwest, they will be facing a new pitcher. And before we tell you about the new arm, I believe it's number 18, that's Blake Casper. But before we tell you about Casper, who did throw in 2/3 of an inning against Lincoln East on Friday, was Nebraska. Grand Island's gotten some good starting pitching in their first 2 games. We saw Brooks Cushing go 4 2/3 of just 1 run allowed baseball on Friday against the Spartans. He struck out 6, only walked 1. Today, Grayson Sack goes 6 innings of 2 runs allowed, only allows 6 hits, and has himself a pretty good day as well. And so for the most part, Grand Island's been able to kind of limit opposing hitters. But once again, new pitcher is number 18, Blake Casper, who went 2/3 of an inning on Friday. He did not allow a hit, allowed 0 runs, did walk 2 Spartans, but also struck out 2 Lincoln East players. Here we are in the bottom of the 7th inning. It's the top of the Lincoln Southwest order, due up in a tie ball game, 2-2. As Brennan Vernon, who is 0 for 3 today, he flew out to the first baseman his last time up. He steps in on that right-handed batter's box against the right arm of Blake Casper.
Well, Nick, the next hit from the top 4 in this Silverhawks order will be the first. Phillips, the only one to have reached with a hit by pitch.
And the first pitch by Casper is low, out of the zone, 1-0.
So if there's ever a time for the top 4 in a good lineup to come through, you're hoping it's now if you're Lincoln Southwest.
The 1-0 offering to Vernon. Fastball on the outer part of the zone, 1-1. Good job by Casper, evening it up there. 1 ball, 1 strike here in the bottom of the 7th inning. The 1-1 offering by Casper. is right down the middle. Another fastball, 1-2. Brennan Vernon yet to take the bat off his shoulder here in this AB. 1 ball, 2 strikes, nobody out in the bottom of the 7th. The 1-2 offering from Casper, breaking ball. Good stop behind the dish by Schroeder, and it'll be ball 2, 2-2.
So there's a difference between patience and passivity. You get a pitch that you can handle. Yeah, you're in the bottom of the 7th, but guess what? You're in a tie game. You're not down.
Here's the 2-2 pitch. Fastball upstairs, out of the zone, 3-2. And Casper, who walked 2 Spartans, you don't want to walk the leadoff guy here, especially Vernon, who runs pretty well. 3 balls, 2 strikes. Here's the payoff pitch. Swung on, grounded on a 2-hop, fielded cleanly by the shortstop, and one shortstop grounds out to another as Grand Island able to get the 6-3 ground out for out number 1. A nice play by the shortstop, Brock Cushing, over there at short, and that is out number 1 here in the bottom of the 7th.
Pretty advanced play from both shortstops, Nick, knowing that they don't have time to take that extra step to set their feet, to be able to corral that ball, throw it on the run on the next step. That's pretty high level.
So now Luke Mitchell comes up to bat. The righty-righty matchup, swings at the first one, and guess what? Schroeder just got hit again. I think Schroeder just took that one maybe off the Adam's apple. He held his neck up, and now his pitch comm device is
in a couple pieces, maybe.
I think his wire just snapped because the ball came up and snapped the wire. Or it did not. Yeah, they got to put a new pitch comm device in the catcher's mask of Schroeder. Schroeder's been beaten up today. Now, a lot of that has been, simply because of Schroeder's mistakes behind the dish. But that one, it was a foul ball, hit the dirt, came up and snuck underneath the catcher's mask of Schroeder behind the plate. And it basically cut the wire, yanked the wire into 2 pieces for the pitch comm device. No balls, 1 strike will be the count as they're wiring up Schroeder here. He's put it in his ear.
So who's fiscally responsible for the replacement? Is it Grand Island because they're the ones wearing? Is it Lincoln Southwest because they hit the foul ball that broke it? Or do the Storm Chasers just say, or minor league baseball say, hey, these things happen?
Well, I would imagine each organization, each team has multiple pitch comms.
We've seen issues with them throughout the first few days of these tournaments, so you have at least one backup on hand.
That's why I'm out on the pitch comm altogether. I'll just say it.
Too much technology? Not everything is made better?
1 ball, 1 strike. Here's the pitch. Outside, ball 2. I get it. There's less of a chance to get crossed up. It's less of a chance for the pitchers to there's no chance of picking signs, if you will, unless you're digging in your glove and it's obvious as the 2-1 pitch is fouled off.
But if communication's a skill and we laud it among outfielders and infielders and how they communicate amongst each other, there's something so special about that connection between a pitcher and a catcher that know each other. They can do these things without having to rely on technology, that have a feel for the game and for each other in the hitter. I can see your argument.
Here's the 2-2. Upstairs, ball 3. So Casper has now dealt with 2 Southwest hitters, and to both of them, both Brennan Vernon and Luke Mitchell, they've run the count full. 3 balls, 2 strikes coming up in just a moment to Luke Mitchell. The pitch swung on and fouled off to the right side. We'll do it again at 3-2. 1 out here in the bottom of the 7th inning. Tie ball game 2-2. Grand Island scored 2 runs in the top of the 2nd. Since then, Lincoln Southwest has forced them to put up 5 zeros in their offensive half of the frames. But for Lincoln Southwest, 1 run in the bottom of the 2nd, 1 in the bottom of the 4th. As this 3-2 pitch swung on and missed on a fastball that was going to be up and inside on Luke Mitchell. He whiffs at it for a swinging strikeout. That's out number 2 here in the bottom of the 7th. And now that will bring up number 7, the first baseman, Ty Phillips. Phillips on the day had a nice line drive out, a well-hit line drive out in the first inning, struck out swinging in the 3rd, and flew out to the center fielder in the 5th. The first pitch of the at-bat is upstairs, ball 1. One ball, no strikes, 2 outs here in the bottom of the 7th. The pitch to Phillips is down the middle, 1-1. Right-handed arm of Blake Casper on the mound. Left-handed bat of Ty Phillips. Here's the 1-1. And it's low. 2-1. We've seen this before. We saw Easton Shockey, who threw on Friday. He started the day for Omaha West Side as Phillips slaps the 2-1 offering to the left side, but foul, 2-2. We saw, as I was mentioning, though, now Grand Island using the same reliever that they used on Friday in a spot here. Stories are different for each team, but you wonder how many high leverage guys each of these teams have. As the 2-2 inside corner called, strike 3. Blake Casper comes in and puts up a clean one in the bottom of the 7th, and we are going to extras. We go to the top of the 8th inning. When we come back, due up for the Grand Island Islanders, hitters 6, 7, and 8. Due up Reuter, Cushing, and Nelson when we return on 93.7 The Ticket.
If one of the things running through your mind as a business owner is the recurring worry of possible cyber attacks, you can let out a sigh of relief. Hamilton Business Technologies has you covered. As the official business IT partner of the Huskers, we offer real-time threat monitoring, advanced security protocols, and more to keep your data safe from harm. We care about the success of Nebraska businesses and communities like yours. Learn how we can help you at hamiltonisbusiness.com.
Attention, Nebraska sports fans. Are you ready to take your skills to the next level? The Army National Guard is looking for leaders who are dedicated, driven, and ready to make a difference. Join up and gain invaluable experience while serving your country with a flexible schedule, competitive benefits, and a chance to build a strong future. Learn more at nationalguard.com/Nebraska. Live here, serve here. The Nebraska Army National Guard. Guard the good life.
Back to more of the Class A State Baseball Tournament on 93.7 The Ticket.
Welcome back in. It's the top of the 8th inning. We are into extras. Dahumik back out there for another inning of work as Lincoln Southwest unable to get anything across in the last 3 innings. And we are still tied at 2 apiece. Due up first for the Grand Island Islanders, it'll be the 6-hole hitter, Gavin Ruther, the starting third baseman, as he takes ball 1 outside, 1-0. Righty-righty matchup. 1 ball, no strikes. Here's the offering from Dahumik. Swung on and missed. Looked like an identical pitch, looked like an identical spot, but a different result as Ruther couldn't keep the bat on his shoulder that time. We're even at 1-1. 1 ball, 1 strike out of the windup. Here's Dahumik. Breaking ball, got the knees to buckle, and it's 1-2. There's something that's got to be so gratifying for a pitcher to know that you got enough spin on a ball and you fool a guy enough to make his knees buckle. The 1-2 is a fastball in on the hands, and Ruther's lucky to get the hands of the bat. That might have hit the tape. It was so far down on that bat, near the handle, and it's foul. 1-2 again. Here's the 1-2 pitch from Dahumik. Swung on, and it's going to be a blooper out to shallow center field. Luke Mitchell will have to let this one drop, and so that is a leadoff single. Once again, Brock Cushing gets on base. He scored the first run of the game Gavin Ruther gets on base with a leadoff single to bring up Brock Cushing. Brock Cushing, as I was mentioning, was the one who scored the first run of this game today. Back in the 2nd inning, Brock has since popped out to the second baseman and flown out to the center fielder. I would imagine we see him square and try to do a job here. He does, and he pulls back, takes ball 1 upstairs, 1-0. Grand Island, 2 runs on 8 hits. They've committed 1 error. Lincoln Southwest, 2 runs on 6 hits. No errors to their stat line on the scoreboard. 1 ball, no strikes. Squaring to bunt, pulling back, now squaring again and whiffing, or rather barely grazing the bat on a foul ball, Brock Cushing. I don't know why, here's the deal. Everybody in the ballpark knows you're bunting. This is one of those where you're not trying to surprise somebody. You can go ahead and say, I'm going to show early, establish the angle, get it down, do a job, just like he's doing now. And now he lunges out and fouls it off again. 1 ball, 2 strikes.
The previous pitch was a fastball. It seemed like it would have been really perfect for him to get down the line, manipulate it, as you're saying. That one a breaking ball. He really did have to reach for it. and he got on top of it with the lunge, like you're saying. Wasn't going to go far. Might have even had a chance for the force out at second if Olivas was quick enough.
1 ball, 2 strikes, nobody out. Here's the pitch. Breaking ball and on the hands, fouled off to the right side. We'll do it again at 1-2. So 1 ball, 2 strikes, nobody out here in the top of the 8th inning. Runner on first is Gavin Ruther. Here's the pitch. Upstairs, 2-2. Miles Nelson is in the on-deck circle. He's 2 for 3 today with a couple of singles. Reached on a fielder's choice and came around to score back in the second. And he's waiting on deck. First, the 2-2 offering to Brock Cushing. The pitch from Duhumik. Breaking ball lined out to center field, and it's going to drop. It gets past Luke Mitchell in center field. Rounding second is Ruther. He's going to be held up at third with nobody out. It's going to go as a single, and the 2 runners advance an extra 90 feet after the air as that ball went right past the glove of Luke Mitchell in center field. And Grand Island's in business in the top of the 8th with 2 runners in scoring position and the 8-hole hitter, Miles Nelson, up to bat.
Cushing couldn't do his job with the bunt. It works out as he laces that one back up the middle. It hung up long enough that Mitchell thought he had a chance at it, but when he slowed down, he didn't give himself space with a little retreat step and let that ball get him with an in-between hop right over his glove, and now there are 2 runners in scoring position.
We can debate this topic all day long here, and we have a brief moment to do so because Lincoln Southwest pitching coach is going to go out and talk to Duhumik. So not quite a change just yet, but the entire Grand Island coaching staff and party is congregated near their on-deck circle to our right down below. And I'm sure they're having the conversation right now of, all right, Miles Nelson, you're 2 for 3 with a couple of singles in your last 2 at-bats. But ultimately, you feel like with Lincoln Southwest having hitters 4, 5, and 6 due up, you have nobody out. Can you get a guy? I think we're going to see a safety squeeze here. That's what I genuinely feel.
There's definitely a lot of merit to that argument. I think it's a worthwhile gamble once, especially with the bottom of the order. You've seen Duhumik pretty well, though.
Yeah.
Only has 1 strikeout, and obviously the infield's going to be drawn in. Doesn't take that much to score them both.
No.
Especially with nobody out.
But now, if you're able to get that bunt down, you still have a runner on third with less than 2 outs.
I agree that it's likely. Just got to place it perfectly here.
And they square bunt. It's going to be pushed down that first base line, and it was foul as it trickles. Had a little bit too much sauce on that one off the bat of Miles Nelson. So runners at second and third. Ruther is at third. Cushing is at second. After back-to-back singles.
I might bring the outfield in a step or 2 as well, Nick. Here at the bottom of the order, not quite as much pop. That way, if it is a little flare over the drawn-in infield, you're more likely to maybe make a diving catch, but at least be able to hold him to 1.
No balls, 1 strike to pitch. He is not squaring to bunt, and he foul tips an elevated heater into the glove of Olivas, the catcher, and now you're down 0-2 in the count with nobody out and 2 runners in scoring position if you're Miles Nelson. Nobody is holding the runner at second, Cushing on. Obviously, the infield is playing in. Here's the 0-2 from Duhumik. Swung on and missed on an elevated heater. It was tipped into the glove of Olivas, and there goes Nelson on the swinging strikeout for out number 1. A much-needed strikeout for the pitcher Duhumik, as runners will stay put, obviously, at second and third to bring up Carson Washburn, the 9-hole hitter in the lineup, who is 0 for 1 today. He's reached on a hit by pitch. He's reached on a base on balls, but he also flew out to the center fielder. A fly out would do a job more than likely here with 1 out in the top of the 8th. We are tied at 2. Grand Island scored 2 in the top of the second. Lincoln Southwest responded in the bottom half of the second with 1 of their own and then was able to scratch another one across in the bottom of the 4th. 1 out here in the top of the 8th as we're in extras. Here's the pitch. Breaking ball down Broadway, 0-1.
Washburn jumped back out of the way to your point about the command, the control that Duhumik has, being able to locate it for strikes early in counts. That's huge.
No balls, 1 strike. Infield is in, playing at the cut, if not firmly on the grass, trying to cut down that runner at home. Here's the pitch. Breaking ball almost clipped the hitter, Washburn. Instead, stayed inside, ball 1. 1 ball, 1 strike.
Washburn looked up to the heavens. I should have worn that one. 390.
Especially with Ian Ahrens on deck, the leadoff hitter who was able to drive in a 2 RBI single back in the 2nd inning. 1 ball, 1 strike, 1 out. 2 runners on base, both in scoring position for Grand Island. The 1-1 is low out of the zone. It gets away from Olivas, but he's able to rush and go grab that baseball before it gets too far away from him. Runners were not able to advance, and so we stay at 2nd and 3rd with a 2-1 count coming up to the 9-hole hitter, Carson Washburn.
Olivas got just enough of that one on the slide to slow it down so it didn't trickle all the way to the backstop.
The right side of the infield, Phillips, the first baseman, and Dawes, the second baseman, are firmly a few steps in the cut, while the shortstop, Vernon, is just in the dirt beyond the cut, and the third baseman as well. Here's the pitch. Swung on 2-1, fouled off to the right side. I think Washburn probably feels like he might have missed that one. Fastball, outer part of the zone. Be okay taking it that way. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 1 out. Duhumik came in relief for Caden Millard. Trying to get out of a jam here. 2-2, 1 out. The pitch upstairs, 3-2.
Really good at bat here by Washburn. Seeing some pitches, fouling some off. Do everything you can to give your leadoff hitter here a chance to see more pitches. Try to figure out what the rhythm, the repetition is.
3 balls, 2 strikes to Carson Washburn, excuse me. The pitch from Duhumik. Outside, good stop behind the dish by Oliva. Says, my goodness, that was spiked about 56 feet from the pitcher's mound, 4 feet out in front of home plate. Those are incredibly difficult to stop. Olivas did a great job, and he was able to get enough of his chest protector on that one. It's ball 4, and so the bases are now loaded with 1 out, and Ian Ahrens up to bat. Southwest will keep the infield in. They'll cut down the runner at home. If they get a sharp ground ball, watch them to go home to first for a double play potentially. 1 out, ball in the dirt, nowhere to put him. So you got to throw some strikes here if you are Duhumik.
Southwest had started the infield back and then realized, oh, wait, we better come back in and attempt to cut down the runner at home like you're saying. If you're Ahrens too, there's a fine line between elevating the ball and getting under it too much. You got to find a way to get it to the grass if you're not going to come through with a hit.
This one swung on, lined out to right field. It's going to drop in there for a hit. 1 run will score. The second runner being waved around third. Grand Island is able to put 2 on the board in the top of the 8th, and they lead it 4-2. Nice job by Ian Ahrens as he's able to line it out to right field for another 2 RBI single. And on the backside base running, Ian Ahrens is able to get up to second base because he caught Lincoln Southwest snoozing in the field. And as I was marking it in the scorebook, that was when he even took an extra 90 feet.
Great job there by Ahrens, who Nick was calm, cool, as collected as they come. Not a bunch of emotion, not a big fist pump from him. He knows that his team still has to get 3 outs, but what a delivery into right field for a 2-run single and the lead back.
And Grand Island's not done yet as they still have 2 runners in scoring position. Ahrens in second base, and another runner at third as the first pitch, the at-bat to Sam Schroeder is outside. Ball 1. So Washburn is now at third. Ahrens is now at second. And 2 runs in here in the top of the 8th inning for the Islanders. And it looks like we're going to have a pitching change because Mitch Vernon, the head coach of Lincoln Southwest, is slowly making his walk and signals to the bullpen. We'll step aside, come back in 30 seconds here. Grand Island's taking a 2-run lead here in the top of the 8th inning over the Silverhawks of Lincoln Southwest on 93.7 The Ticket.
At Cedars, we're here to make sure the kids have the safety and stability that every child deserves, where they're protected and where they feel safe. You make this possible. Today, more than ever, we need your support to be here for kids who have nowhere else to call home. Now through May 28th, make a big impact through Give to Lincoln. Give to Cedars now at givetolincoln.com.
Back to more of the Class A State Baseball Tournament on 93.7 The Ticket.
New arm on the bump for Lincoln Southwest in relief of Dumick is going to be number 20, a junior righty, Cale Roach. Roach, a PO on this team, pitcher only. And so he's going to come in the middle of an at-bat against Sam Schroeder, the two-hole hitter for the Grand Island Islanders. As Schroeder's up right now in a 1-0 count, while Grayson Sack and Gabe Ruiz are the next two hitters in the Grand Island lineup. Austin, really nice job so far in this 8th inning, that is. Grand Island gets on. They get back-to-back singles to start the inning, right? We talk about approach all the time. Back-to-back singles to start the inning. Miles Nelson unable to get the bunt down, but is able to or does strike out swinging. Carson Washburn walks after a full count, and then similar to back in the second inning, Ian Aarons able to get a 2 RBI single, and now you have runners at second and third with less than 2 outs for Grand Island.
Aarons, I was especially impressed with, Nick, because he saw that Dumick missed low with a fastball, figured he wants to get back even in the count, waited for him to bring that fastball up just a little bit, and then didn't miss it. Elevated it, nice little flare line drive down the right field line. Right fielder Pieper was playing maybe a touch deep, but not anything crazy. Aarons put it in the perfect spot and good heads-up base running there by the trail runner. That was Cushing. To see that ball, see the fly to the ball, see that it was going to get down, get a good jump, and be able to score. 1 run is obviously all you need to take the lead in that situation if you're Grand Island. Every insurance runs count here, as especially the visiting team.
Cale Roach did pitch on Friday in the loss to Papio South. He threw 1 inning of work, 1 strikeout, no hits allowed, no runs allowed as well, no walks to his tally. 1 ball, no strike. Here's the pitch to Schroeder. It's on the outside corner for a strike, 1-1. Now, I talked about it earlier. These guys, these teams, high leverage guys, we're seeing a lot of the same where, all right, you trust them in big situations on Friday, and now in an elimination game, you're trusting them in a even bigger situation. It's win or go home today. 1 ball, 1 strike. Here's the pitch from Roach outside. A sliding stop behind the dish by Olivas for a ball, 2-1. Infield, as Austin mentioned, still playing in. And they'll try to, it's no force at home, but they'll try to cut down the runner. Now they are going to put Schroeder on base to try to force it to be a force out at home. So Schroeder walks after Roach fell behind 2-1 in the count. So an intentional walk to Schroeder. Bases are juiced for the 3-hole hitter, now the designated hitter in Grayson Sack. He was listed on the starting lineup as the pitcher/DH. So you already knew the Grand Island plan was whenever Grayson Sack was out of the game as the pitcher, he was going to be inserted as the designated hitter. Bases are loaded for Grayson Sack. Righty-righty matchup. The first pitch of the at-bat is outside for a ball, 1-0. We mentioned it earlier that these two teams have faced each other 2 times this season. Both of those games were won by Grand Island. However, when you look at the seedings, Lincoln Southwest is the 3 seed in Class A. Grand Island is the 7 seed. But doesn't matter here, as we've seen the 8 seed knock off the 1 seed in Class A, and Grand Island, no matter how many more runs they get, if any, here in the top of the 8th, they'll be 3 outs away from knocking off the 3 seed. And one of the 2 Capital City representatives here in Class A. 2 balls, no strikes, as that one's fouled back to the net, 2-1. We've seen crazier things, though, the last couple of years in our time at state baseball. A lot of last-inning rallies. Some heroics. Kale Roach out there for the Silverhawks now. Infield is played back. This one swung on, drilled out to left field. The left fielder, Cash Shoemaker, is able to be there. The runner will tag from third, and that will add another to the Grand Island total on the sacrifice fly off the bat of Grayson Sack. And so it's F7 on the putout for the sacrifice and out number 2. But coming to score, it was Carson Washburn. And so Grand Island adds another, and they now lead it 5-2 here in the top of the 8th.
Good piece of hitting there by Sack. Missed the 2-0 fastball, fell back to the screen. Hit that one on a line out to left field, right at the left fielder Shoemaker. But that's still a pretty good piece of hitting. Certainly good enough to get the job done.
Runners on first and second as Grand Island leads it 5-2. 5 runs on 10 hits. Righty-righty matchup as Gabe Ruiz steps in and swings and misses at the first pitch of the at-bat, 0-1. It was a fastball down the middle, and he just missed it. No balls, 1 strike, 2 outs here in the top half of the 8th inning. Game to follow about 30 minutes or so after us will be Millard North and Millard South in a winner's bracket matchup. The winner of this game will get the loser of that game. Or excuse me, I said that incorrectly. The winner of this game gets the loser of tonight's game between Lincoln East and Papio South. I apologize on that. Omaha West Side will get the loser of Millard South and Millard North. All those games will be taking place tomorrow. Weather permitting, of course, because I think we're supposed to get some May showers tomorrow. The 0-2 pitch to Ruiz is outside for a ball. 1-2.
Good spot, though, by Roach. Got the guy going after a couple fastballs. You bring another one just a little bit up, just a little bit out. Try to get him in protect mode in a spot where he couldn't do much with it, down 0-2.
1 ball, 2 strikes, 2 outs here in the top half of the 8th inning. Runners on first and second for Grand Island. They've put 3 runs across here in the top half of the 8th inning. One ball, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Kale Roach comes set at the belt, looks the runner back at second, and delivers. Breaking ball just upstairs. Kale Roach started walking to the dugout. He thought it was over, and it stayed up high. 2-2. On deck is Ethan Mater. In the hole is Gavin Ruther for Grand Island. Ruther got this inning started. Here's the 2-2. Low and away, ball 3. On Friday, Roach came in that 1 inning and only threw 10 pitches. So there was no required day of rest, but obviously was able to get 2 of them. 2 full days, that is. 3 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs here in the top of the 8th inning. The runners are off with the pitch, and it's outside. Ball 4 to Gabe Ruiz.
Good at bat there by Ruiz. Down 0-2. Saw a fastball up, a couple breaking balls down. And then I do think Roach went with the breaker there, 3-2 as well, trying to get the big, powerful cleanup hitter to chase it. He didn't. Now the bases are rejuiced.
So now with 2 outs here, we have Ethan Mater to the plate. Mater is 2 for 3 today in 4 at-bats. He walked a couple of times, and he skies this one into center field. Luke Mitchell, patrolling center field's grass, ranges over to his right and makes the catch for out number 3. But nice job by the Grand Island Islanders as the 7-seeded Islanders put 3 across in the top of the 8th. They lead Lincoln Southwest 5-2 as we go to the bottom of the 8th inning. Last chance for Lincoln Southwest here as they will send Dawes, Seymour, and Jackson up to the plate. 4, 5, and 6 hitters when we come back in 60 seconds on 93.7 The Ticket.
Hi, Husker Nation. This is Rex Burkhead. On Lincoln Gives Day, I hope you'll join me in supporting the Team Jack Foundation and their mission to fund life-saving childhood brain cancer research. Kids and families facing brain cancer deserve better treatments and more hope for the future. Every donation helps move that mission forward. You can make your gift today by visiting givetolincoln.com and searching Team Jack. I'm proud to support the Team Jack Foundation and the fight for every child and family affected by brain cancer.
Spring sports are here and it's time to upgrade your equipment. But don't go rushing to your big box store. Play It Again Sports is your place to go for all spring sports equipment for baseball, softball, golf, and disc golf. Play It Again Sports has quality, slightly to gently used equipment, and 50% of their inventory is actually new equipment. And don't forget, buying from them is a great way to get new products with great discounts by also bringing in your used items for store credit or cash on the spot. Play It Again Sports at 48th and Vine.
Back to more of the Class A State Baseball Tournament on 93.7 The Ticket.
Welcome back into Warner Park. Nick Sainert alongside Austin Orman as we are in extra innings here in the bottom of the 8th. 5-2 your score. Grand Island is on front of Lincoln Southwest. It's the Silverhawks' last chance. They need to score 3 to keep this one alive. They need to score 4 if they want to win it here in the bottom of the 4th inning as they face Blake Casper on the mound once again. As the first pitch of the at-bat to Alex Dawes, the cleanup hitter, is inside for a ball, 1-0. Dawes on the day, 0 for 3. Lined out to the left fielder, lined out to the second baseman, and this one, on this time, is popped out to the right fielder, and he makes the catch for out number 1. Frustrating day at the plate for Dawes. He finishes 0 for 4. Kason Seymour comes up to bat. He singled back in the second and the third inning, and then lined out to the third baseman, put a really good swing on it back in the 6th, just right at the third baseman, as Grand Island now 2 outs away. Casper working out of the windup. Righty-righty matchup to Seymour. And it's just outside, ball 1.
Falling behind both hitters so far early, obviously he's 3 pitches into the inning. But this, Nick, especially with 1 out now, trust your defense. Let him work. Bump the zone, fill it with strikes. Lincoln Southwest down with only 2 outs to work. We know the stats, the best hitters at the best level will get themselves out 70+% of the time. Don't serve up meatballs, but you got to throw competitive strikes.
As the 1-1 offering is low and outside, stopped by Schroeder behind the dish. We talked about it during the break off the air. Sam Schroeder going to the University of Creighton as to continue his baseball career. Here's the 2-1. Swung on. It's a swinging bunt back to the pitcher. Off the bat of Seymour. Underhanded to first in time for the second out. And now Lincoln Southwest down to their final out as they trail by 3. Casper on the mound. And coming up to bat, Andrew Jackson, the designated hitter. I just looked at the radar. It looks like storms approaching our area around 4 o'clock or so. So I would imagine we'll be able to get the third game in. That last game of the day might be a little dicey. Or we'll cross that bridge when we come to it. As the first pitch of the at-bat to Jackson is in there for a strike, 0-1. No balls, 1 strike, 2 outs here in the home half of the 8th inning. This one grounded to the shortstop. Fielded cleanly on the high hop. Fired across the diamond in time. And Grand Island stays alive another day as they knock off the Lincoln Southwest Silverhawks 5-2 in an elimination game here at Warner Park. We'll step aside, come back, put a bow on it, and preview our next game when we return in just 60 seconds on 93.7 The Ticket.
A business's phone is the lifeline to its customers and potential clients. That's why it's so important that you can take calls seamlessly from anywhere, whether you're on the road or in the office. Hamilton Business Technologies can help ensure your phone rings wherever you are. We can equip your headquarters and any of its locations with the right tools for smooth, professional call handling. As the official business IT partner of the Huskers, we know how to keep Nebraska businesses connected. Learn more at hamiltonisbusiness.com.
Imagine if the people who work at your bank or neighbors who could help with a home loan.
Congratulations, you're approved.
Or friends who love to shop local.
Have a good one.
At UBT, who you work with matters just as much as what you're working toward.
Hey, thanks for helping.
That's why your money has more than a banker. It has people. Union Bank and Trust. Member FDIC.
Back to more of the Class A State Baseball Tournament on 93.7 The Ticket.
So in extra innings, it is a 5-2 final after Grand Island puts up 3 runs in the top of the 8th inning. They knock off Lincoln Southwest. As Lincoln Southwest season comes to a close, they finish with a record of 21-8 on the campaign, and Grand Island survives another day. They take all 3 games that they played against the Silverhawks this season. They go 3-0 against the Lincoln Southwest squad this year, and Lincoln Southwest will await the loser of our night game between Lincoln East and Papillion La Vista South. But when we look at this game to come between Millard South and Millard North, we saw Millard South, the 8 seed, play very uncharacteristic of what an 8 seed would usually play, as they knocked off number 1 Omaha West Side on Friday. For Millard North, it took extra innings, 9 innings for them to knock off number 5 Creighton Prep. This one's going to be a good one. And just because Millard South Austin's the 8 seed, you don't expect or treat them like an 8 seed.
Plenty of familiarity between these two schools, I'm sure, between plenty of the players on these two squads. The extra inning game would probably have come into more of a factor had it been played, let's say, on Saturday after Friday. But with a couple days off, both teams ought to be fully rested, fully refreshed, and ready to put themselves in pole position there on the top half of the bracket, because, Nick, whoever wins this game will need to be defeated twice tomorrow in order to not make it. And with both these teams, we've seen some moments of good baseball from them. Not a complete, combined 16 innings between the two necessarily. They both ran into their bumps in the road. But 2 good teams, 2 talented teams, 2 familiar teams, you got to be in for a treat.
It's going to be interesting to see these 2 teams, Millard South and Millard North. They played just one time this year, and it was the first game of the season. Millard North won 9-4. But these 2 teams, I'm sure both coaches would say, are dramatically different from where they're at game 1 to where they're at now, which this is going to be game for Millard South, game 33 for them on the season. I'm sure there's been a lot of things that are changed and different for both sides from game 1 to game 30 plus. So should be a good one. We got about 20 to 25 minutes before we start here. Grounds crew already on there on the field rushing to get this thing ready. We're going to try to get this in before the Storms come our way here at Warner Park. Millard North and Millard South coming up in about 25 minutes. Your final score, Grand Island eliminates Lincoln Southwest by a score of 5-2. For Austin Norman, I'm Nick Sainer saying so long. We'll talk to you in just about 25 minutes or so from Warner Park here on 93.7 The Ticket.
Are you looking for an exciting new way to put your skills to work? Explore new career options in the